right, buddy, come on back.
Engines fired, and they're getting set to roll off before a great crowd, as always, here at Kentucky Speedway. Tonight's in-race reporter, Joey Logano, will never forget what happened here 1 year ago. Not only did he make NASCAR history, it was so special for his family. The young man at 18 years, 21 days, became the youngest driver ever in the series. And oh my, how about a nice Father's Day present for Dad Tom? After making the trip down from Michigan, Joey Logano picked up where he left off a year ago by coming to Kentucky and posting the fastest time in qualifying. The 19-year-old picked up his 5th pole in his 31st start and became the first repeat pole winner in 9 Kentucky races. And by the way, career best qualifying efforts for a couple of rookies starting 3rd and 4th, Justin Allgaier and Michael Annett. There's the starting grid. All you watch to see where your favorite driver will start. Let's talk with our in-race reporter, Joey Logano, the pole sitter in the GameStop Toyota.
Hey, Joey Logano, Rusty Wallace, ESPN, you got us?
Yeah, 10-4, I got you.
Joey, it's got to be pretty special. You coming back to the side of the racetrack where you won your very first victory and be on the pole tonight.
Definitely one of my favorite racetracks. It's one of the few places I got experience at. So looking forward to getting this GameStop Toyota up front here and staying up here. So we'll see what we can do. I know Dave and the guys are going to work hard all night. We'll have some good stops. So we'll see if we can stay here.
All right, Joey, we got an ESPN mailbag question. It comes from Ben in Chicago, Illinois. The question is, has driving a Cup car helped you in the Nationwide car at all this year? Sounds like he's not keying the radio. Obviously having a little technical problem. All right, Joey. Now, Dave Rogers is going to talk to Andy, and we'll have a little conversation there.
Stand for it.
Hey, Dave Rogers, Andy Petrie in the booth. You got us?
Got you, Andy.
Hey, Dave, you guys won this thing last year and had a great setup. A lot of guys talked in the garage down here about how much more bumpy the racetrack is and how hard it is to deal with. Have you guys had to change that winning setup any?
Yeah, 10-4. This track gets a little bit rougher and rougher each winter. Gets more and more character. So worked really hard. Rondette and guys worked hard on their shock package, trying to get this car to go over the bumps. We'll see. We'll see if we made the right calls.
Okay, Dave, we, Goodyear had a different tire they were going to bring here. Changed their mind at the last minute, brought the same tire we had last year. What do you think the tire, how is it going to perform today, and how's it going to hold up?
Obviously, we're happy with the performance here last year, so we're actually happy to see that change. You know, I think after Dover, a few people had some concerns. We thought the tire was great at Dover, but I think they figured it'd be better to be safe than sorry and bring back something that they know works. So we're looking forward to a good race here.
Okay, Dave, you guys got a great pit down there, and have good luck.
You appreciate it.
We will have onboard cameras now in 7 other cars tonight, including the Dover winner, Brad Keselowski's GoDaddy.com Chevy, starting back in 9th spot, and also the 2007 winner here at Kentucky, Stephen Light, whose Holiday Inn Chevy for Richard Chodas Racing starts back in 12th position. And we'll have a camera and microphone with our over-the-wall crew member. That's the jackman for Jason Keller. There's John Reese out of Owensboro, Kentucky, the 32-year-old veteran jackman will be having the pit stops all night long there for Jason Keller. Now, Andy, let's talk about some of the pit selections here tonight.
Yeah, these top 10 qualifiers get the best pit picks. They pick by qualifying. So as we come down pit road, we see Carl Edwards has the first pit as you come off the racetrack. He's got a good way in there and a good way to get out, so he won't have much traffic. And you move on down the pit lane, you see his teammate, Ricky Stenhouse, has got another opening by qualifying in the top 10. He's got a good spot right there where he can get in and out. As we move on down pit road, you'll see where Justin Allgaier in the 12 car, he's also had a great qualifying run. Here he is with a great pit stall as well. That should help him get on and off pit road and make up spots under caution. As we move on down, we see Kyle Busch with that great run he had coming in from Michigan, jumping in the car, qualifying on the outside pole, gets him this opening. It's the last opening before you get down to the end of pit road, where our pole sitter, Joey Logano, has got the best pit stall right by the line, very close to the line where these guys will be racing off to. You can see here this good high shot. This is a great pit right here. Takes a while to get to this pit, but boy, when you start coming off here, you don't have to race very far, because you can see Joey only has to roll just to this line right here to make it to the end of pit road, and that's where they'll score the cars as they come off.
So the top qualifiers all spread out up and down pit road here tonight. Well, let's update the prospects tonight for some of the fresh young faces here in the series. Here's Mike Massaro.
And one of those young drivers will have to overcome quite a bit of adversity. I'm talking about Kelly Byers. A problem in qualifying. He gets loose, slaps the wall, will have to go to the back of the field in a backup car. I spoke with Kelly Byers just after the drivers' meeting. He told me he'll approach this race in a very conservative manner, feeling out the race car. He wants to see exactly what he has. They may also have to gamble coming down for 2 tires early to get some of that track position back. Still, he's awfully confident, and he knows this is an opportunity to prove just how good a race car driver he is. Jamie?
Well, Mike, for the second consecutive week, Trevor Bayne is starting on a racetrack for the first time. Now, both times he qualified in the top 8 position. Now, last week, you remember during the race in the middle, he got caught up in a wreck. He didn't have a chance to learn much. So yesterday, first practice, the goal was to get comfortable, learn as much as he could around this place. The team has a lot of confidence in this kid. Their goal tonight, though, finish every lap. Vince?
22-year-old rookie Michael Annett will start 4th tonight. Far and away his best qualifying effort this season. So why the improvement? Well, Annett says much of that credit should go to that man up top of the box, the new crew chief, Mike Hillman. It's just their second race together, and already Annett and Hillman have struck a chord. But starting up front and staying there are 2 different tasks. Annett's got one of those conquered. Now it's time to work on the other. Doc?
Tonight's race, folks, is 300 miles, 200 laps on a 1.5-mile racetrack. Pit road speed is 45. The pace car will run 55. And Andy, Tanka Sunoco, roughly 60 laps.
Yeah, 55 to 60 laps before these guys will need some fuel. Tires going to hold up well, sounds like tonight.
This is the lowest banking of all the 1.5-mile racetracks that they run on. There are 8 different 1.5-mile tracks, Rusty. Only 14 degrees of banking here.
Yeah, and it's going to make it tough for these guys, too, especially if this racetrack's got so much more bumps in it from last year. So the drivers have to negotiate a flat racetrack and a bumpy track.
NASCAR has called 3 cars on the pit road because they did not have a crew chief in their pit box. There's the 05 of Brad Baker, the 79 of Stanton Barrett, also called in, and the 41 of Justin Hobgood.
See the 05 going back out on the racetrack. I don't know if they found their crew chief or not.
Well, we know who the favorites are. Look at the front row, but what about some sleepers, guys?
I'll tell you, I'm going to pick Eric Darnell. This guy's awful strong in that 6 car. That car's been strong with David Reagan, Darnell.
Yeah, and if you look back behind him, you see Ricky Stenhouse Jr. The reason I like him tonight is this car, this 16 car, has been one of the few cars this year that's been able to beat those Gibbs cars. They've done it 3 times. I think he'll have a shot at it.
How truly appropriate here in the Bluegrass State that we're at a racetrack that has been a rich breeding ground for first-time winners in NASCAR. The last 3 years we have been here, we've had a new face, a fresh face in Victory Lane. Folks, 30 of the 43 starters tonight have never won in NASCAR nationwide competition, including 6 of the top 8. Could it happen again? As we are set, the pace car pulls away. What a great crowd on hand, approaching 70,000 here at Kentucky Speedway to watch the NASCAR nationwide cars come down 2 by 2. Joe Gibbs Racing teammates Logano and Kyle Busch bringing them to the green flag. Still side by side as they come up to speed. These guys don't want to give an inch.
Yeah, I guess there's no deal on the start here with these teammates. They both want to lead this first lap.
I started to say Kyle Busch is always really good on the outside of this racetrack. You got to see if he's going to sail that baby in like he is right now.
Here comes Allgaier on the bottom.
Allgaier trying to take second spot away. They're still side by side, back for 4th position. Behind them, there's a couple of rookies, Annett in the 15, Darnell in the 6, and behind them, they're still side by side. Look, watch the 88 car of Keselowski making a move.
You got to remember one thing, guys. They all practiced during the day, and they're starting to get a little cooler right now. They qualified during the day. They've dropped their air pressures, a lot of adjustments, so they got to shake this stuff out the first couple laps.
And when talking to the crew chiefs down there, they said that it takes a few laps for these tires, more than usual, for these tires to get up to temperature and get up to pressure where they make the most grip. They have to be patient here at the start.
And there's a lot of teams, Andy, get these air pressures very, very low, trying to ride these really rough bumps that are out in this racetrack right now. They're trying to use that as an adjusting tool.
Side by side for 7th position, the 88 car. There comes the 88 of Keselowski moving inside of Trevor Bayne, trying to take the spot away. That's Bayne behind him, the impressive 18-year-old.
He has been very impressive. I spent some time in the garage this week. We did a practice session with this team, kind of followed them around, and they've got a really good chemistry with Jerry Baxter, the crew chief, and this young driver.
Darnell and Allgaier, a couple of rookies battling for 3rd position.
I really think when you talk about Bayne, he learned a lot at Nashville last week in the start of the race. He's doing a much better job right now. Take a look at Eric Darnell underneath Justin Allgaier, looking pretty strong in the bottom right now.
Right behind them, Michael Annett in the 15 car, and the new crew chief, Mike Hillman. What a difference it's made for him. Just totally turned this program around.
Yeah, it's amazing sometimes when you get that right chemistry, and it seems like they have that it really does work. Got a wreck off turn 4 here.
Stephen Light is spinning around.
Doesn't look like he's made much contact. I think he's got a little damage on that right front.
Get it rolled
from
out
contact
there
with another car. This is not the start that Stephen Light's looking for here tonight.
So the 2007 winner here is the first victim here in 2009. He spins it around. And let's see if we can see what happened to Stephen Light.
Looks like they were racing side by side. Here he is with Trevor Bayne on the outside. Looks like he gets just a little bit loose and has to go up the racetrack.
Boy, Andy, that's classic, too. When you get that close to another car on the inside, your car gets real loose, and that's exactly what's happened to Stephen Light. Just got off underneath of him.
He was running back in the 9th position, and they kept the car from going up the racetrack and able to keep it down and get it on the apron without getting any other contact. So he should be none the worse for wear. Going to need 4 new Goodyears, but aside from that, the car seems to be okay. Under caution for the first time tonight here at Kentucky Speedway, lap 4 of 200. Came back. How about Derek Fisher's shot that tied up with 5 seconds on the clock? Lakers took game 4. Will Orlando have the magic to hang on tomorrow night? Our coverage begins with the NBA Finals. 8 o'clock Eastern. Coverage begins 7:30 with GMC NBA Countdown. Now, these are single file restarts. The double file restart shootout style has not come yet to the NASCAR Nationwide Series. Probably still a couple of weeks away.
Yeah, we're expecting it soon, but if we had it now, you would see this whole line of cars be double file racing each other. Now we've got them kind of strung out as they get this restart going here. All the cars are on the lead lap.
Kyle Busch qualified on the outside front row, has led all 7 laps thus far. And here is Justin Allgaier making a move on the 20 car for 2nd spot.
Looks like he's not going to be able to pull it off. It looks like he's a little too loose on the bottom in 1 and 2.
All day long, in qualifying especially, these guys are very, very loose in qualifying. And when this racetrack cools off, it changes big time. And I think a lot of the drivers are waiting for it.
Now back in 12th and 13th, the 66 and the 60, these are the same guys that got together 2 years ago when they were contending for the win. In fact, Carl Edwards had led the bulk of that race, and he and Stephen Wallace came together.
That was a heck of a night. I'll never forget that, Jerry. Carl Edwards and Stephen just kind of dominated all night long. You see a pass here.
Darnell
gets underneath Allgaier. Yeah, going back to what you said, Jerry, that was a heck of a race. And Stephen Light went on to win his first race. A great night for him.
Pretty good action. The 12 car, Allgaier back and forth. The 15 and Ned is 5th. Then comes Brendan Gaughan with a backup crew chief this weekend running well. And the 88 car now, Keselowski moving all the way up in the 7th position.
Hey, Carl Edwards trying to make a little move on the outside here. Mike Bliss, he struggled just a little bit in practice. They had a couple of issues there with trying to get a qualifying run, moving up the racetrack, almost crashed the car trying to make one of those runs. See, boy, these bumps are really giving these guys a fit. You see Jason Keller chasing his car, almost get into the side of McDowell.
Yes, he actually bounced up the racetrack into Michael McDowell, it looked like, Andy, and they've really got to work in these shock packages this particular week. It's been tough, man.
He thinks he's got a flat right front. Keller does.
He's talking about having a right front flat, he said. He's got so loose up the top side of the racetrack.
Two tires when he gets there. 4,500, come on.
Coming down pit road. Looks like he's going to really concerned about the right front. We'll have to see this other angle, see if he's got a right front as he comes around the pit road here. But I'm not so sure he just got big time loose up there.
Yeah, I'm not sure he's got a flat, and he may, but it's really hard to tell at this point. The tires do not look flat coming in.
I don't think he's flat at all. I think he just got spooked up there.
And same thing I was talking about with Bliss. When he went up there and hit some of these bumps, hey, his car took off violently, and he almost crashed it.
He was running in 17th position now prior to coming down for the unscheduled stop.
Laps are good. 2 tires here. All the way. First gear, 4,500.
I'm never a fan of just changing 2 tires when you think you've got a problem, because 9 times out of 10 when I did that, it was always the other side.
Man, I hear you there, boy. I've had that problem many, many times. Hey, look at Brendan Gaughan going around outside of Jason Leffler there. Those two racing down there.
That for 7th position. You see riding along with Leffler, the 3rd place man in the point standings, trying to get on the inside of Brendan. And you see Brendan's already got the high line working pretty well here.
I tell you can see the top side of this track. Just watch those cars, Jerry, just jumping all over the place. I tell you, that's going to be a story all night long, how these guys, Andy, can negotiate these bumps.
Yeah, we're hearing now that the 27 car did not have a flat, just like we said, that may have just got spooked when he hit that bump. The car took off so violent.
And here's the bad news for Jason Keller. Too fast on exits. He's going to have to come back down pit road for a pass-through penalty.
Oh, that's just adding insult to injury. Here's Trevor Bayne now making a move, and Joey Logano and Kyle Busch still going at it. Looks like it's going to be up to the rest of the field to try to beat these Gibbs cars tonight. Now they have got it going on.
And, you know, for folks that just joined our coverage, Kyle Busch has not had a single lap of practice in the 18 car all weekend. He got here just in time to qualify, and he said in an interview in our pregame show in the countdown, he said, you know, if my car isn't good, I'm just going to let the 20 go on by and settle in until I'm good. Well, he led the first 14 laps.
Yeah, he might do that as long as it's in the early part of the race. I don't know about the end of the race.
More on the 18 car, Mike.
Well, Doc, I spoke with his crew chief, Jason Ratcliffe, this afternoon about the challenges of trying to dial this race car in while using a substitute driver. Remember, Brad Coleman was the guy who shook this down. He said, well, Brad Coleman is similar to Kyle, but really, Brad Coleman is not quite the same driver. He's a lot less aggressive, so that's a variable they needed to factor in. Kyle, though, pretty happy with his race car. Let's listen in.
I don't know if I'm driving in there too hard or what, but when I get down in there, I just don't have, the thing just doesn't turn. Three is funny. 3, you can get down in there and down to the bottom and drive above, it's fine.
And you can be sure they'll be tuning on that race car throughout the course of the evening, but Ratcliffe's early advice to Kyle, change your arc into the corner.
I think this is the product of not having any laps on the racetrack. He's just now experiencing some of this stuff. Here's a race for 12th.
Bernie Lillard, a 32 car, trying to move on the inside of Stephen Wallace, and he will get the position.
Not early runner right here. Guys are probably looking for that first pit stop to make some changes to these cars, to tighten them up, or do whatever it takes to get the job done in front of this monstrous crowd, guys, is at this racetrack. We haven't talked about that, but the crowd here in Kentucky tonight is just amazing. The atmosphere here feels electric.
18 of 200 laps are in the books here, and it has right now been all Joe Gibbs racing cars up front. Kyle Busch qualified second, led the first 14 laps, and Joey Logano has taken the lead and led the last 3 times guy. Logano, Busch, Darnell, Allgaier, and Annett in the top 5. Caution here at the Meijer 300 at Kentucky Speedway. Caution for the second time tonight. Debris on the racetrack, and now crew chief, I expect we may see some guys take advantage of trying to get some adjustments done here on pit road.
Yeah, I've only run 23 laps. You don't want to just waste all your tires too early, but you don't know how many times you're going to have an opportunity to get down pit road. This will be a good opportunity for these guys to adjust on the cars, get some fresh tires on there, and get prepared for maybe some long green flag stop.
Looks like they're all ready. Yeah, it looks like they're all ready for a 4-tire change there, Andy, but you know, you got to believe some of these guys that the cars are feeling pretty good might stay out right now, but some of them look like they're wicked loose. Saw Carl Edwards having a problem out there, guys. He might be one of the guys having to pit.
While we were away a moment ago, Brad Keselowski, by the way, moved up into 4th position past Justin Allgaier and Michael Annett. Now the other rookie creeping back into 6th spot. So a lot of guys already being aggressive here in the first 23 laps.
Those Gibbs cars have pulled about 4 seconds on the rest of the guys, though, so we should see some adjustments on these other cars to try to catch those guys.
You know, if you just joined the broadcast, both these guys, the 20 car and 18, qualified identical lap times. I believe it's a 30.88 second lap, Jerry. That was amazing being that close.
Here come the leaders. It'll be 45 miles an hour down pit road, and everybody, Danny O'Quinn stays on the racetrack, but everyone else coming down for what is their first stop of the night.
It's a long way down pit road on that at that speed. Here's the 60 car, Vince.
Carl Edwards having problems with his race car, loose all over the track. They're putting in 2 rounds of wedge in the left rear, giving him 4 fresh tires, a clean in and out on the pit box. Mike.
Kyle Busch's instruction to Jason Ratcliffe, fix my entry. They'll go down a half round on the track bar, a 4 tire change on the 18, Jamie.
And Joey Logano wanted 4 scuff tires. He said it was started off tight and it got a little tight toward the end of the run. He's down and away, guys.
Race off of pit road and a little bit of tire strategy. Eric Darnell gains a couple. Allgaier up 3 spots. And the big loser there, Brad Keselowski back 4 positions. Stephen Light up 14 spots here in 10th spot. Under caution, back in a moment. Speedway working caution for the second time tonight. What a crowd they have here, and they have since since they've been running here for the last 8 years, I should say. Almost 70,000 average, and we are pleased to be joined by a special guest, the chairman of the board for Speedway Motorsports, Bruton Smith. And Bruton, thanks for coming in to visit with us.
Well, thank you very much, and of course we've set a new record here today, and I'll tell you, the fans here in Kentucky are just awesome. I think that racing is the second religion or something, because they get so enthusiastic about racing here. And you'll notice we've opened the infield, so we've got a lot more people there, and so it gives us a record crowd tonight. I'm proud of that.
We see a bunch of improvements here now. What you've done so much of this racetrack, what's next?
A lot of things, and we're waiting to get the Cup race here, and of course in July the 30th this appeal is going to be heard. And we hope, if not before then, we hope that this whole thing will go away, where the prior owners, they sued NASCAR and they sued ISC, and we're not a part of that. And I wish it would go away, and we try to make it go away, but not successfully. But so maybe the judge will. So I'm hoping that we'll have a good judge, and he'll make that disappear.
Bruton, as we watch the restart here getting ready to happen right now, what you did out front to make this place more fan-friendly yet,
yes.
It's just amazing. We're hearing a lot of great comments.
Thank you, Rusty, and I'm just real proud of what we've done, and I love it. I love this place.
Restart here with lap 28 of 200, and Bruton, I know we talked about maybe getting a race here, getting a Cup race. If it comes to this racetrack, where will it come from?
From another speedway.
Any ideas where you know that might come?
No, that was the end of the answer.
Oh, that was it. From another one of your racetracks, maybe?
Yes. Unless ISC wants to give me a race at one of theirs, and that would just be awesome. Of course, if that happens, I'm going to be looking to the east to see if I see 3 wise men headed this way on camels.
Hey, Bruton, thank you so much for coming up, and thanks for all you've done.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Nice seeing you, Rusty.
Okay, fantastic job here, buddy.
Thank you.
Got a race heating up here, boys.
Talk about a fantastic track. We got a fantastic race going on right now. You see Justin Allgaier in front of Kyle Busch right now, just muscling past him. And this guy has got it going on, but Busch is trying to get back underneath the bottom. Andy, this is where the car's been getting really loose off of turn 4.
That's definitely a tricky corner. These guys doing a good job through there. Kyle Busch he did make an adjustment on his car, lowered the track bar to try to help his entry.
If you're wondering where the 6th car of Eric Darnell is, he is back in 31st position because he was one of 5 cars that were too fast on exit of pit road a moment ago. They had to go pass through to the back of the pack.
Wow, 5 cars. They must have gotten an error in their tach readings for that many of them to have a problem.
And that's how you come down pit road. You got to look at that tachometer. You do not have a speedometer.
It was Darnell, Stephen Light, Hamilton, Townley, and Mark Green. Those are the cars that were too fast exiting a moment ago.
Allgaier not giving up on the outside here. He's still racing with Kyle Busch hard down in the corner.
And we've had some strategy out here,
too. That's the advantage now off turn 2.
A lot of momentum up there at the top side of that racetrack. It's cooling down out here right now. The sun's setting. Almost dark here in Kentucky right now.
We were looking for somebody to race these Gibbs cars, and looks like Justin Allgaier is the man right now.
When's the last time you've seen someone go by not just one Gibbs car, but both of them?
It's been a while, but Justin Allgaier doing a good job, but he's still got his hands full. Got a race for 6th spot.
Now, Bernie Lamar has been making his way through the pack, and he's moving up on the outside of the 88 car, Brad Keselowski.
A lot of strategy out there. 2 tires, 4 tires, and some of the cars just took 2 to get this track position. Remember, they were only 23 laps in this event. I don't disagree with the 2-tire change right now this early.
That's the time to try it early. If it doesn't work, you got plenty of time to recover. If it does, then you've got that in the bank. You know what it's going to do. And here comes Kyle Busch. He's not giving up. Inches off the back bumper of Justin Allgaier.
I think some of these guys out are just sick of these Gibbs cars beating up on them all the time. They want to get to their bumper, wear them out. Justin Allgaier's one of them.
If you're 23-year-old Justin Allgaier in a 12 car, what are you thinking looking in your mirror seeing Superman back there, Kyle Busch?
What I'd be thinking is don't look in the mirror. Just look ahead, man. Don't look back there.
For more on Allgaier, let's go down to Mike.
I can tell you what he's not thinking, Doc. He's not intimidated in the least as Kyle looks to the inside now for the lead. A few laps ago when they were side by side, just like this, Allgaier's spotter said, let him go, get back in line. He didn't do that. Instead, he tried to take the lead himself. That shows you just how determined he is. Kyle Busch, though, the leader. Allgaier not giving up.
Yeah, I don't think I would give up either right now. I mean, you don't get many chances to race side by side with Kyle Busch like this, and you got a good car. Why not do it, Rusty? Right now, it'd be a good time to race.
Just get it on, man. I mean, you talked about what Allgaier's feeling like. I'll guarantee you, when he gets to the middle of back straightaway, he's pounding his chest going, hey, I'm the man.
Got to figure out what it's going to take to beat Kyle Busch. You got to race side by side with him, wheel to wheel, to figure out what it's going to take.
Well, these guys got a fast car, the Gibbs guys do. That's what they just got to get faster cars to outrun them. Look, there's drivers out there that have enough talent to outrun these guys. They just need better cars like Gibbs has got.
And you know Roger Penske didn't hire him to follow Kyle Busch.
That's right. He pays him to beat him.
And Roger Penske does not build junk cars either.
That's for sure.
Yeah, that comes speaking from somebody who knows.
Absolutely. I used a lot of Roger's money, that's for sure, and I know it.
How about our biggest mover? What an impressive move by that 33 car right there. Whoops, and we'll follow up in a moment. Here's a challenge for the lead again up front. Kyle Busch on the bottom, Allgaier going on the outside. Can he get around him?
Yeah, it looks like Kyle might have an advantage this time, but here comes the 12 car.
What I'm seeing right now, we got a 2-lane racetrack right off the bat. I mean, this top side is plenty fast, just as fast as the bottom of the racetrack.
Kyle Busch finally gets clear of Allgaier. That was a good experience, though, for Justin, because now he knows, okay, this is where I need to be better. This is where, right at this point, is where Kyle's beating me. He can find out these weak spots that he has in his race car now and report back to his crew chief and tell him what he needs.
And if he's trying to figure out how to get around here, he can look at Kyle Busch, and he can also look at Joey Logano with the same car behind him. Just like you said, a lot of experience getting learned right now.
Last year, the 2 Gibbs cars combined to lead 161 of 200 laps. And now Joey Logano goes back by the 12 car to be able to take the second spot away. 37 of 200 laps in the books here. Kyle Busch, Joey Logano, then the rookies Allgaier, Annette. Brad Keselowski is 5th, Lamar Bliss, Stephen Wallace, Trevor Bayne, and Jason Leffler rounding out the top 10.
Lot of motorsports on ESPN2 over the weekend. After we're done here in Kentucky tonight, it's off to the United Association NHRA Super Nationals for qualifying. Following us at 11:30 Eastern. The finals are tomorrow at 10 Eastern time. NASCAR Now presented by 5 Hour Energy, the Michigan pre-race show. Note the special time, 9 a.m. Eastern time tomorrow. And we wrap up the entire weekend with the NASCAR Now Monday Roundtable at 5 Eastern. Then this nationwide series is off to Milwaukee next Saturday night, 8 Eastern time. All that motorsports upcoming on ESPN2. Under green at lap 43 here at Kentucky Speedway with Kyle Busch and Joey Logano having settled into the top 2 spots. Busch and Justin Allgaier trade the lead 5 times. Let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times between them before Kyle finally has settled out front, and you see extended his advantage to 2 3/10 of a second. Now, the biggest mover in this race, we touched on him a second ago, Kelly Byers in the Harvick's 33 car. He's running 12th. That's where we start getting up to speed with Nationwide Insurance. Jamie, how about that story?
How about that run, Alan? Kelly Byers started 42nd. He told me before he got in the car he was going to keep his fingers crossed that he had somewhat of a Tony Stewart story from last weekend, that he goes to the back in a backup car and he ends up winning the race. Well, so far, he looks like he has a car capable of winning. Already moved up to the 12th position, and so far, so good. Last stop, 4 tires and fuel, Vince.
Behind him is the 16 car of Ricky Stenhouse, and Stenhouse currently running 13th. Stenhouse usually shares this ride, or I should say shares this ride with Greg Biffle and Matt Kenseth, so it's quite a challenge for crew chief Eddie Pardue to have a young guy in it, but he's been very positive with Stenhouse in his performance this week. Stenhouse is complaining the car car's a little tight. Everybody else says theirs is loose. Mike?
And the guy going underneath Stenhouse is Scott Lagasse. They started the car off a little bit tight. That's how they were in practice. So what they wanted to do is build some adjustability into this race car. They have made some adjustments, and the car's been pretty good. A little bit loose on entry, but otherwise, Scott Lagasse pretty happy with his race car right now, Jamie.
And Michael McDowell in the bright orange 47. Day didn't go as planned. He loves this racetrack. Won an ARCA race back in 2007. The car actually tonight, not too bad. He says it is a bit free all around, and he's adjusting his line as it goes, actually getting wider on the R. Mike?
And Scott Wimmer pretty happy with his race car. Consider the fact that he started 30th. He's all the way up inside, close to the top 15 right now, having a pretty good run. Pretty satisfied, saying the car's just a little bit snug in the corners, but otherwise pretty happy with how this car is performing right now. Vince?
And behind Scott Wimmer is the 60 car of Carl Edwards, one we expected to be up in the front, not running 17th, but Edwards has his hands full, as he indicated on the radio.
It's just in the center of the corner. When it's on the spring, it's okay. We're going so damn slow. It comes up off the spring, and then you cannot drive it. I mean, it's like friggin' all over. You got another set of front springs or something? I mean, we're gonna be in trouble here.
It's bad all over the track, as you heard Carl Edwards indicate, and we're going to get an indication of what they might be looking to do with Tim Brewer in the Craftsman Tech Garage.
Thanks, Vince. Folks, when the people run the wedge bolts down, they actually put more weight on the spring. But what Carl might be experiencing, if he hadn't got enough load right here, the cross member sits right beneath the oil pan right in this area right here. Now, if that cross member is hitting the ground, it's causing the tires to come up, unload, if you will. And it's all about grip. When you got 4 tires and good compliance on the racetrack, you got enough control to drive the race car. But anytime it bottoms out, it literally lifts the tire up. You don't have that grip. That's when the car is really uncontrollable.
All right, tool time, Tim. So we'll keep an eye on Carl Edwards way back in the 18th position right now. Now, just back up to Justin Allgaier for a minute. Something to think about for the end of the race. They took 2 tires on their stop, and for a while were able to race with Kyle Busch, right? The longest green flag run at the end of a race here in Kentucky ever is 31 laps. We're going to have a late caution. Will somebody throw 2 tires at it and be able to get out there and run with some of these guys?
I think so, simply because the majority of the field is going to experience a tight condition as the night goes on. You put 2 tires on that race car, it allows you to be a little bit freer, a little bit looser. That could be fast. That might be the trick.
Watching from Allgaier's car as Brad Keselowski in the 88 tries to duck underneath and pick up the number 3 spot.
Oh, nice job.
Finished second and first the last 2 weeks, says Keselowski. Keep an eye on him as he moves forward. Hopefully, perhaps, possibly, maybe to the number 3
comes
spot.
right back, baby.
Seen a lot of side-by-side racing on this track tonight.
They're doing a great job. I mean, these 2 young guys, both of them, Justin Allgaier has had an outstanding night, and Brad Keselowski, we kind of let him slip under the radar every week until he pops up and wins the race or runs up front like he's doing right now. He's got that 88 car dialed in, and these 2 cats are going at it.
All right, so not yet, but they're still racing for third. Allgaier hanging on for now. 51 laps of 200 are complete. The leaders, Kyle Busch. Joey Logano is second. This race goes on for third. 2 cautions so far. Last time the leaders were on pit road was at lap 24. We're about halfway through a fuel run here at Kentucky.
The NBA Finals continue with Game 5 on ABC tomorrow night. Lakers are up 3 games to 1. The question is, will Orlando find the magic to hang on at home tomorrow night, or will the Lakers give Phil Jackson his 10th NBA title? The NBA Finals on ABC Sunday, 8 o'clock Eastern Time. Coverage begins at 7:30 with GMC NBA Countdown. 58 of 200 laps in the books here at Kentucky Speedway. Glad to have you with us. NASCAR Nationwide Series action. We have had 9 lead changes among 4 different leaders, and right now it is Kyle Busch who is leading. He has led 4 times for 41 laps. Like Joey Logano is second, and then Justin Allgaier and Kevin Hamlin on back, and Michael Annett back in 5th. We've got a question for Rusty from our Verizon Wireless mailbag. Now, you can text your question to 8610. Standard messaging rates apply. Standard texting rates apply, or go online to ESPN.com to submit your question. Rusty, the question comes from Thomas in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Which young Nationwide Series driver, if any, do you see getting the first win here in the next couple of races.
For what I'm seeing right now, guys, at this current point, you take a look at Michael Annett and Justin Allgaier right there. They've been really strong. They're running 4th and 5th right now. It could be either one of these two guys that could get their first win.
It's amazing how much better this 15 car Michael Annett's running since they made that crew chief change with putting Mike Hillman on the pit box.
Well, everybody knows his people. I mean, you got to have a good hot rod, good pieces and parts, but once you got that, you got to be able to organize this stuff. And Hillman's doing a good job right now with Annett. And, I remember watching you, Andy. You always assemble some good people, too. That's important.
Yeah, it's all about chemistry and how you work together. It doesn't necessarily mean one's better than the other, but sometimes you just find that right combination. Right now, this is a great combination with Mike Hillman and Michael Annett.
Now, just a few laps ago, the 12 car of Justin Allgaier and the 88 Brad Keselowski were racing. Let's listen to the radios.
Out of pace. You better help him out.
It looked like Keselowski was getting a little impatient with Justin Allgaier, trying to get this spot. Just wanted to get a little help from him and said, hey, tell the spotter that I'm getting a little impatient back here.
Yeah, well, Justin's working the top side of the track, and Keselowski's got the whole bottom, so pass him. If he doesn't pass him quick, not hit him. It's a big old racetrack, a lot of real estate.
Well, he did make the pass, and now he's up in 3rd position behind the Joe Gibbs cars of Busch and Logano. And they split the 61 car. That's Brandon Witt, as these two rookies go high and low.
Hey, what, this racetrack still got a big change coming yet. It just now got completely dark here at Kentucky, and all the drivers tell me the racetrack gains a ton of grip, gets much, much faster, and generally the car gets a lot tighter, Andy, which requires a big chassis change.
Yeah, most guys are planning for that. They know it's coming. They've got plans made in their tire pressures and maybe even some wedge adjustments and track bar that they'll take care of that. And like I said, the guys that have run well here know that's going to happen.
I'm still so impressed at how well the 12 car is running with a 2-tire change. They're now showing 63 laps. And he's still got 2 tires he started the race with.
Well, he's not the only one watching that. Those other crew chiefs on the box, they're watching that too. They saw that this 12 took 2 tires, and they're watching to see how well it works. Somebody else might try that in the end of this race when we have a late caution. I'll tell you, this is another car here that I'm almost shocked how bad that they are right now is this 60 car Carl Edwards. I mean, he is back there. We're waiting for him. Look how long it took. He's back in 16th spot. This is so uncharacteristic of this team. They've got some real problems. Vince, what in the world's wrong with that 60?
Well, it's amazing, Andy. They were pretty confident that they had a very good race car here tonight, but Carl Edwards, from the drop of the green flag, has said it is just wicked loose. They're going to make some big changes at the next pit stop. Rubber in the left rear, rubber out of the right rear. They're going to drop the track bar on the right side. As Carl said, let's go big here because it's junk right now.
Got to get a rubber in the left rear. We got to get the rubber out of the right rear. Both of those will keep it over on the right front spring. Then we're going to drop the track bar on the right. De-rake it. That'll also keep it on the right front. Let's just go big here. It's a really, really big hunk of junk here.
Boy, so many adjustments that he's wanting to make on the car after running so poorly here a year ago. And let's go down to our Craftsman Tech Garage. Tim Brewer, what all are they going to do with this car?
Tell you what, Jerry, they're going to take a huge swing at it. But what Carl's making reference to, he's got a rubber in the right rear spring over on the other side. What he's going to do, he's going to pull that rubber out of the right rear. But there again, by softening that tire up, he's going to get it to get in the racetrack more grip. Same time, he's going to put a rubber in the left rear, putting more load on the left rear tire. But more importantly, he's going to lower the rear track bar. The lower you get it, the better it's going to have grip from the center of the corner off, making the car tighter. But Carl, he must be in a lot of trouble because that's a huge swing he's going to take at the car right now.
That is a big-time swing, Tim. And he talked in the pre-race show about how they were terrible here a year ago. They finished 20th, very uncharacteristic of Carl Edwards, and did not lead a single lap in that race. Right now he's being shown back in 16th position. And here is the leader, Kyle Busch. And by the way, former winner Stephen Light, the 29 car, being lapped now by the leaders as the top 2 cars go by. 68 of 200 laps are in the books, and it is Kyle Busch now who has led 4 times for 51 laps.
Coming to the pit box, he's in the very first box. We've documented his issues. They're going to take a big round track bar adjustment in the right side, 2.5 inches, believe it or not. Rubber out of the right rear, rubber in the left rear. Carl Edwards says the car is undrivable right now. It's got to get better. Mike?
And Kyle Busch still very concerned about his entry. He needs a little bit more grip. Also says the car's real tight in the middle of the turns. They're going to make another track bar adjustment and a 4-tire change, Jamie.
The 20 car Joey Logano tight at the end of the run. 4 sticker tires and Sunoco fuel is it. No adjustments. And he's down. Doc?
Race off of pit road. It'll be Kyle Busch. Those adjustments staying in out front. Logano, Keselowski, Leffler gaining 6 spots. Got to believe there's some tire strategy there, crew
chief. Yeah, and there's Stenhouse gaining 5 spots also. Kelly Byers making another spot up.
All the way from 42nd starting position in a backup car. Kelly Byers getting it done for Kevin Harvick Incorporated. Under caution here, debris on the racetrack, so the cleanup trucks are out. And we will take a quick break and come back to the green flag one more time. Just 29 laps away from halfway here at Kentucky. Action hot and heavy here early on at Kentucky Speedway for the NASCAR Nationwide Series. We are working caution for the 3rd time tonight. Debris on the racetrack. That will put the 29 car as our Aaron's Lucky Dog free pass winner, Stephen Light, who had just gotten past a moment ago, getting back on the lead lap, now putting 22 cars on the lead lap. A ton of penalties on that last pit stop. We had 8 different cars penalized. The 20 car too fast on the way in, and 7 cars too fast on the way out. My goodness, the 88, 12, 140, 60, and 87 too fast on exit.
At the very end, Andy, going out, it's a very short timing segment. They all got busted exiting pit road, and that's where those crew chiefs got to tell them, be careful. That segment's much shorter. You can't speed out there, man.
See, that many cars getting penalized, it's always like, you got to think something's up down there.
Yeah, well, you got 4 of those cars penalized were running in the top 10. That is a big-time penalty. There's the 38 car, Jason Leffler, who took only 2 tires. That's why he made up those 4 spots on pit road a moment ago.
Yeah, we'll see how his 2 tires work. If they work as good as they did on the 12 car, Justin Allgaier, he'll be able to hang it right up here with Kyle Busch.
That was 4 wide down the backstretch a moment ago with Carl Edwards all the way down on the bottom of the racetrack.
Yeah, they're still racing big time back there.
Now that was a key pit stop right here. This track is completely dark right now. It's cooled down a lot. Most of them all put 4 tires on and made their adjustments from what's been going wrong earlier in their run. So this is a good snapshot of what we're going to see right now, guys.
Let's see, how long will it be before Carl Edwards will know if those are...
Go!
The 73 of Derek Cope goes around. Edwards gets up there. Light goes around. And that will bring out caution again.
Looks like Cope's going to not make any contact here. Got real lucky there.
Now, past Daytona 500 winner did a good job holding on there.
Now, there's Kenny Hendrick. He's got his roof flap up, which means he's been around backwards.
Looks like he's got some left front fender damage, too.
He's made some contact.
We can see what happened to Derek Cope in the 73. Oh, there is a contact with Hendrick.
He got into the back of Kenny Hendrick. We were watching Derek Cope while Hendrick was going up here to the outside, and he made contact with the outside wall.
Well, Kevin Conway just made it by 2. He just cleared him there. And the 29 car of Light, he just barely got through 2.
And let's ride along with Kevin Conway and see watch him get through.
He's going to have the best view of this accident, better than he wanted.
So he negotiated the first spin, and then he had to get around the second spin right there. Let's watch this one more time. Look at the 87 car. Clears that. Goes to the bottom. Clears another one.
Oh. Wow, Carl Edwards and Stephen Light both able to get by there. That could have been disaster for Edwards trying to hang on in this championship chase. Watch these 2 contenders just squeeze on the outside as a 73 car spins and the 42 tags the wall. Both on ESPN2. How about NASCAR Now, presented by 5 Hour Energy, tomorrow 9 a.m. Eastern Time, pre-race edition. And, of course, our NASCAR Now Roundtable, Monday at 5 Eastern on ESPN2. And, of course, next Saturday we invite you to join us at the historic Milwaukee Mile NASCAR Nationwide coverage at 8 o'clock Eastern time. All that coming your way on ESPN2. Under caution for the 4th time tonight, and the cleanup is ongoing here on the racetrack, and they're bringing in the 42 car of Kenny Hendrick. And just a moment ago, a little emotion here on the racetrack.
Kenny Hendrick was not happy with Derek Cope after that contact. See right here, Derek Cope gets right into the left rear. I can see why Kenny Hendrick was upset with him.
I can't tell what happened there, except the 73 just drilled him in the left rear quarter panel and spun him out. I don't know if Kenny's got real loose causing it or what.
That's a tough for a team that's very limited funding and just trying to be able to run as many races as they can, talking about Kenny Hendrick. Let's talk to our in-race reporter, Joey Logano.
Hey, Joey, Rusty Wallace up at ESPN. You got us?
It's that far, guys.
Hey, buddy, I know you got busted coming into pit road, but if it makes you feel any better at all, 7 of them got busted exiting pit road. I tell you what, with all that said, though, how's that old car running out there?
It's really good. I mean, we're really good on the long run. The last run before we got that caution before our last pit stop there. So, I mean, the game stops are always good. We're just, I get my track position back. I guess I screwed up a little bit there. I didn't think I was speeding. I got lights on my tach here, and if you blow through the red, that's when you're speeding. I know I had about 4 or 5 reds in there. So, just have to watch it a little bit there, and we'll get up there. We just got to keep the fenders on the way up and get back up there with Kyle.
Joey, when you won this race last year, I mean, has the track felt much different to you? A lot of drivers are complaining about how bumpy it is out there. Can you remember last year versus this year?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, it definitely is a little bit bumpier, especially on new tires, low air pressures. The car seems to be a little bit more rough over the bumps, hitting the track a little bit. Once my pressures come up, I don't touch the track anymore, and the car starts coming to me. I just kind of get loose there on the start, and it finally tightens up, and I get off the racetrack, and it's when the car comes to life.
All right, buddy, you're driving a smart race right now. We'll talk at you later.
Well, thanks.
6-0 back on pit road. That is Carl Edwards, and if you just joined our coverage, he has been just atrocious tonight, running back in 16th spot. They came on pit road a moment ago, and as Tim Brewer would say, took a big swing at it. They took a rubber, out the right rear, put one in the left rear, made a major track bar adjustment, and the car's just been bouncing all over the racetrack.
Well, that is a big, big change. I don't know if I've ever in my life heard a driver say drop the track bar 2.5 inches on the right side, Andy.
That was a big change. As a matter of fact, this last change, I think I saw the kitchen sink come over the wall.
He said the right front is bouncing off of the spring, so he's put a rubber in the left rear, took one out of the right rear, dropped the track bar.
And how appropriate. This is our Aaron's lucky dog, by the way, Ken Butler III, the Aaron's car. And he was the first car lap down. He'll get the free pass and get himself back on the lead lap. He's in 21st position.
Tell you what, I got to keep my eyes on Edwards. I want to see what all those changes done. I mean, that was amazing what he's done.
Folks, up front, 8 of the top 10 drivers have never won a NASCAR Nationwide Series race. We talk about opportunity striking here 3 years in a row. Although it is Kyle Busch they're going to have to get by right now. He's the leader. It's Leffler and Busch, then Lamar, Bain, and Stenhouse in the top 5.
Stenhouse with a big run on the outside. When the green comes out, that's a legal move. You can pass to the right before you cross the line.
Boy, you make that big run on the outside. Once you get down to the turn 1, you just hope you're not 3 wide. And you got to go to that corner 3 wide. But it looks like he gets single file right now coming down the back straightaway. It was a key move right there.
And Brendan Gaughan was headed to Cincinnati in that turn. He went all the way up across the racetrack, and he now got it gathered back in. Pulls in behind Eric Darnell. Racing all over this track here. There is the 62, and there is Darnell being shown in the 7th position.
And here comes Logano after that penalty, moving his way up, trying to get back in the top 10 here.
Man, these restarts are tough. They got those cool tires, sticky tires. They can maneuver all over the place, and that's what keeps them so close.
Logano in 9th spot. Oh, and look at Darnell get loose.
Look at Brendan Gaughan just shoots at the bottom of the racetrack. Stephen Wallace on the very bottom, 3 wide down the back straightaway. Somebody's got to give here.
Who's it going to be?
Oh, baby, on the bottom of the racetrack, Stephen Wallace gets by that 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, and 11th on your screen there.
Really impressed with the net right there. He didn't push that issue. He could have made a bad situation worse.
Andy, you hit the nail on the head right there. That shows a lot of maturity. I mean, hey, I've been through it, man. You get too aggressive early, you can wipe yourself out for no reason.
Talk about being aggressive. Last year at this racetrack, Kyle Busch tried to hustle his car back through the pack and ended up spinning it out and hitting the wall. I think Joey Logano seemed to be settled a little bit. Oh, watch the 88 car make a move on the bottom of the racetrack. That was Keselowski.
These guys are looking real racy right now. I mean, nobody's giving anybody room. But you got to remember one thing. It's pretty hard to pass. And these got new tires now, and they're trying to strike while the tires are sticky.
You got some lap cars. You got a few lap cars that are mixed in with this group that they have to try to get by. That makes it a little more dicey. And right here, John West Townley on the outside. He's a lap down. There's Joey Logano now under Michael Annett.
Yeah, that is for position, by the way. Annett was running in 9th, and now it is Logano's spot. Next up for Logano will be the 32 car of Bernie Lamar in 8th position.
It's like Logano lost about 4 positions on that last corner. Kind of got trouble. Oh, we had a spin. Got one coming through the grass. Michael McDowell.
Darren Cope involved again.
The 09 of John West Townley involved. 47 McDowell spins.
Stephen Light.
He went through the grass pretty hard there with the front end. I don't know if he got any damage to the front, but boy, there's a lot of damage to John West Townley's car here.
And John West Townley did not need this. He just needed a good finish. We talked about it earlier.
Come to the pit. Come across the grass. Come on. Come on. Oh, stop. All right, come on.
Car last week at Nashville after a pretty good qualifying run there.
Michael McDowell, we just see going behind the wall. There he is.
Yeah, he was the top finishing rookie last week at Nashville in that same car. So a couple of our rookies being taken out in one incident. There's Townley. We talked about his new driving coach, the former champion, David Green. Now watch the right side of your screen.
You see Michael McDowell going around. Don't know if there was contact. Hard to tell from that angle whether Townley got into the back of McDowell, but see here.
No, it looks like he just got
McDowell
loose.
just got loose in front of John West Townley.
And Townley was just a victim.
Wrong place, wrong time.
It was not John West Townley's fault this time. He just got taken out accidentally.
See all the cones flying through the air.
McDowell climbing out and trying to hurriedly get this car repaired because he is in the top 10 in the point standings, or was when he came in for this race tonight.
Place our commitment cones, and leaders will stay out.
So the leaders staying on the racetrack. We'll take a quick break with NASCAR do a little cleanup action with getting their cones back in order. And we'll come back and break it out as far as what's going on with the McDowell car behind the wall. Back in a moment.
NASCAR Nationwide Series at Kentucky Speedway. Brought to you by Toyo Tires. Toyo Tires is driven to perform. And Prescription Flomax.
Working the 5th caution flag tonight. Contact on the racetrack between Michael McDowell and the 09 of John West Townley. The rookies involved. 73 Derek Copes on the 29, also getting some damage. Stephen Light. There's the 47 car, McDowell, who came in to this race tonight 9th in the overall point standings and 3rd in the Rookie of the Year standings. Trying to get that car repaired and getting him out back on the racetrack.
Here's Stenhouse. He was looking for that start again, but those two guys up front were ready for it.
Just gotta get those old boys to pay just be a little more patient right now in this restart. They really got after it on that last time.
About Kelly Byers now 4th position after starting in the rear with that backup car.
Whoa. Look at Brendan Gaughan just dart right to the bottom of the track.
Doesn't take him long to get 2 and 3 wide. Now, Gaughan's got a good car tonight, but he's been running that extremely high line up off of turn 2.
I've been watching him throughout the night. That car has really been handling great, just like you said, Andy. But this 33 is handling great also. Coming from the back where Kelly is right now, that Harvick car is very strong.
Great side-by-side battle, these two, for 4th position.
Oh, here comes some more 3 wide, 4 wide racing.
Oh, Stephen Wallace sliding up in the middle of the racetrack, and they gave him some room. Justin Allgaier backing out to give him a little room. There comes Bernie Lamar in the 32 car. These are 9th, 10th, and 11th spots.
And I'll tell you what, you actually see these cars just bounce through these bumps and bouncing them sideways.
How about Eric Darnell, who had to go to the back of the pack because of that speeding penalty? He's making his way slowly but surely back up there in that 6 car.
The driver makes a mistake and say gets a speeding penalty. Does that give you a little extra incentive to try to make it back up for the team?
Absolutely, Andy. You get mad at yourself and you felt like you left your team down, and It's up to you to recover, but you got to do it in a smart way. Don't get crazy and tear the car up coming through the field, and just got to have in your mind.
Yeah.
They go beneath Morgan Shepherd, the 89 car. He's being shown 1 lap down in the 23rd position. The others there behind him are racing for position. Lamar is 12th. Mike Bliss now in 13th spot. Michael Annett back in 14th.
Jerry, I got to hand it to Morgan Shepherd. This guy is not a start and park car. He tries to run every single lap, and actually he's been finishing pretty doggone decent the last couple weeks.
Yeah, one reason he's running so hard right now is he is the first car 1 lap down. He's racing to stay in that spot so he can be the lucky dog free pass winner should the caution come out.
Good point, Andy. Good point.
Mark Green is the next car behind him. He's got to keep behind him to stay in that spot. There comes Logano making a charge to the front.
And I will tell you, this is the fastest laps I've seen all night long. Like I said, the track's getting much faster. It's pitch black out here. Cal Busch just ran a 31.16. That's the fastest since the start of this race.
Battle for 5th position here. And again, if you just joined our coverage, we'll mention again Kelly Byers wrecked in qualifying, had to go to a backup car, started 42nd in the Kevin Harvick Incorporated car, has driven all the way to 5th spot, but right now just under attack by Joey Logano, who's back in 6th.
You know, guys, a long time ago when people used to lose their backup cars, they really felt like they're out of the race. Now the backup cars are so identical to the main race car, it seems like these guys can just put the setup back in there and not be affected whatsoever. You see that with Kelly Byers, how strong he's running.
Even sometimes during a weekend, you can see some team have to go to a backup car and actually even get better. They might have been fighting something with their primary car that when they went to their backup, it actually fixed it.
Now, have you ever heard anybody that's wrecking the cars on purpose so they get that backup car out?
I have, actually.
Have you done that?
I tried to. One time didn't work. I wrecked it. They fixed it on me.
Oh, baby, here comes Joey Logano on the bottom of the racetrack digging hard, and he will take the 5th spot away from Kelly Byers. And Logano is back on the move toward the front. Jamie.
He is, and you know what's fueling that, Doc? Dave Rogers has been commenting to Joey, I know you're mad, man, and that fires you up. And Joey goes, heck yeah. He got back there in some lap traffic, and he turned the fastest laps of the night. Same thing now, getting shuffled back because of the penalty, guys. He's driving mad, and he's driving fast.
Main thing is keep him cool. I know Dave Rogers is talking to him just to make sure. I don't mind you running fast and aggressive, but just don't wreck the race car. Get us back up front. And we heard that when you talked to him with our in-race reporter question a while ago. You asked him, about it. And he said, I've just got to keep the fenders on it and get to the front.
Well, I was trying to make him feel better by saying 7 other guys did the same thing.
Misery loves company. Now, folks, we are now 2 laps away from halfway here at Kentucky Speedway. Let's take a look at our Holiday Inn race summary. There have been 4 different leaders, 9 lead changes. The average speed because of the 5 caution flags down to 121 miles an hour. There are 22 cars currently on the lead lap, and we've had 19 laps under the yellow flag. 11 cars out of the race that are back in the garage area, including a couple of guys being worked on trying to get back in, Michael McDowell and a couple of others. 4th position as a 20 car now tries to go by Brendan Gaugh.
Both of those guys got good cars, and like I said earlier, it looks like Logano's using some patience. Maybe he's mad a little bit, but I think with getting all spread out like this, Andy, it lets a guy calm down a little bit. At least they're not 3 and 4 wide. He's mad as a hornet. Now he's got time to think.
He's got time to pick these guys off one at a time. He's doing a great job of it, too. You're watching Brendan Gaugh, and he's running just a little different line than some of these other front runners. He likes that high line.
He just loves that high line. He really does. And he always feels secure up there. Richard Petty told me one time, if you run high, if you get loose, it's a lot less distance when you hit the wall versus if you're on the bottom and you go all the way up. That's a big, hard hit when you do it that way.
Yeah, I've heard the King say that here. Pretty good battle for 9th position. 3 wide. Allgaier in the middle. He's the meat and sandwich. Darnell on the bottom.
In and out, in and out.
I want to say, easy, boys. Let's get those tempers back together now. Calm down.
Stephen Wallace gave him plenty of room. Had he nodded, he crowded him at all, we'd have had a 3-car wreck right there.
The old Stephen Wallace wouldn't have gave anybody any room. He's getting much more patient right now.
So Allgaier wins that battle. He's in 9th. Wallace in his 10th, and Darnell 11th. We are just past the halfway point. Lap 101, it is Kyle Busch leading. And folks, the leader at halfway here at Kentucky has not won the last 4 races here. And by the way, Kyle Busch was leading at halfway in 2 of the last 3 and did not go on to win the race. So folks, a lot happens here in the bluegrass state of Kentucky at this racetrack in the last 100 laps, so don't go away.
ABC tomorrow night. Boy, what a game. Game 4 was.
Yep, it's over. Watch the race, I'm telling you.
Magic had the double-digit lead in the second quarter, lost that lead in the third, came back in the fourth, went into OT after Derek Fisher tied it up with 5 seconds on the clock, and then Lakers ran away in overtime.
Lakers won it.
So will the trophy be won?
Yep.
On Sunday night, NBA Finals on ABC, Sunday 8 Eastern, coverage starting at 7:30 Eastern with GMC NBA Countdown. You heard Brad Daugherty's prediction.
It's over.
It's over.
Watch the race.
Kyle Busch is your leader just past halfway tonight here at the Kentucky Speedway, and what a lead. He's motored away to 4.5 seconds. On second place now, Joey Logano, who's taken that number 2 spot away from Jason Leffler. We go up to speed now with Nationwide Insurance. Michael, you got the leader?
I sure do. And just how strong is this 18 car? Well, it's hard to tell because he says, believe it or not, he's being conservative. Why? He says this track's a lot more bumpy than he expected it to be, more than he remembered it to be. So right now he says, I'm just practicing, guys. I'm trying to get used to it. Also trying to conserve fuel. The team thinks they're about 5 laps short of going the distance on just one more stop, Jamie.
And look who's back up behind him. Joey Logano has worked his way up after that speeding penalty. They have made 0 adjustments on this car tonight. It has been Sunoco fuel and tires the entire time. Hey, he's been driving mad. He says the car is good, getting just a little bit tight, but all is well in the 20 car. Behind him, Jason Leffler, the man he just got around. Now, Jason was not happy with the way his car was handling about lap 50. Well, then they came in and opted to take 2 tires on that stop. The car came alive. He went nothing but forward. Crew Chief Scott Zaffadelli said these tires here do not fall off. It was worth a gamble. Vince?
And running behind Jason Leffler is the 16 of Ricky Stenhouse, the rookie, just 21 years old in only his 3rd career Nationwide Series race. His confidence was shaken last week at Nashville. He crashed in practice and in the race. So going the distance is very important for this car and this driver here today. The spotter and the crew chief have been very positive with him, keeping him pumped up and reminding him, hit your marks. Jamie.
And I've been listening to the crew chief for Brendan Gaughan. Shane Huffman making his debut as a crew chief. You remember his name. He ran here in the Nationwide Series for Dale Earnhardt Jr. 2 years ago. Last year went over to Rusty Wallace Incorporated, and now he got the opportunity because Brian Berry is suspended right now, and definitely Shane Huffman doing a great job communicating with Brendan Gaughan. They sit top 5. Mike?
Talking with Brad Keselowski before the race, he was very realistic. He said, we have a good car, but I don't think we're as good as the 18 and the 20. We'll need to use some strategy if we are to win this race. So far, though, it's been a battle trying to find the right balance. He started off tight, then the car went to loose. They just made a track bar adjustment on their last stop, and this is the best this car has been all night, Jamie.
You can't say enough about Kelly Byers. 7th right now, started 42nd. Told me he thought he was going to need to shake that car down. It had not seen any laps on this racetrack before the race. He did not need to do that. The car has been that good. And he said, hey, I love this track too. It suits my style. I love sliding around. The car's treating him well right now. Happy with it, Vince.
Trevor Bayne in the 99 is running 8th. He's just 18 years old. He qualified on the front row last week at Nashville, but he didn't have the result he wanted. Qualified 8th tonight, and he's running in the top 10. He just put a half turn of brake to the front to help it. It's a little bit tight in the center. Mike.
Ever since being hit with a speeding penalty many laps ago, the 12 team has been, well, rather confused. Chad Walter had a conversation with NASCAR trying to get some clarification, but they didn't get the answer, I should say, that they were looking for. Instead, they restarted 16th and have had to rally, and so far the 12 car is doing that. They're inside the top 10. Vince?
Eric Darnell is running 10th. He was up in the top 5 early in the race. They had a pit lane speeding penalty. It's just his 4th race of 2009, and he raced the trucks and the ARCA here at Kentucky Speedway, so he said he felt comfortable in the nationwide car, and he's got some good guidance with Mike Kelly on the box. Alan?
All right, our pit reporter gang with updates on the top 10 there. A couple quick notes here. Joey Logano is running faster lap times than Kyle Busch right now, though he's 3.5 seconds behind him. There's the gap from second up to first. And we'll have another round of pit stops in just a little bit. Jason Leffler running third, trying to keep up with the torrid pace of the Toyotas of Joey Logano and Kyle Busch.
Just 80 laps to go here at Kentucky Speedway for the NASCAR Nationwide Series cars. It is Kyle Busch continuing to lead. He's got about a 2.5 second lead over Joey Logano, his teammate. It is Jason Leffler being shown back in third position. Remember, Jason only took those 2 tires on and is doing a heck of a job. And his Toyota, he's third on the racetrack and third in the point standings. And we asked Jason Leffler, talk to us about the challenges of winning here in this series.
Sometimes you have a car that runs good on a short run, and at the end of the run it falls off, and sometimes it's opposite. So if you can just time it just right, where at the end of the race where you have a long run and you can take advantage of that, or you just fall in the right place at the right time. And another big challenge is Kyle Busch. So if you can outrun him, chances are you're going to win the race on that particular day.
That's pretty simple. It's about timing and, of course, beating Kyle Busch.
Yeah, there is that.
Well, you know who all the drivers are trying to catch every single week. Busch has just been so solid. But I'll tell you what, Jason, on these 2 tires, man, I'm pretty impressed how strong he's doing.
Joey Logano has really made up some ground on Kyle Busch, though, under green. He had to start so far back, but he's up to second spot, and he's made up a couple of seconds of that deficit.
If you just joined our coverage, remember Kyle Busch ran the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series race in Michigan today, and he dominated up there, leading the most laps in that event. He led 4 times for 62 laps, finishing second there to Colin Brown. By the way, congratulations to Colin, a rookie winner in that series. And now he flew on an airplane and a helicopter to get here, qualified on the outside front row, and now Kyle Busch has led 4 times for 107 laps.
He's still flying.
Yeah, he's still flying. Let's update what's going on with the 60 car here. Carl Edwards really struggling here tonight. Vince.
Well, Doc, they still don't have the grip in the back end of the race car the way they wanted to. They made some unbelievable changes to the car with the track bar adjustment down 2.5 inches, 12 rounds in the track bar, unheard of almost. Rubber in the left rear, out of the right rear. As you look at crew chief Dan Stillman, he's still shaking his head because they can't figure out why they still don't have grip. So at the next pit stop, they'll probably make another wedge adjustment and also track bar to try to get Carl Edwards something he can work with on this last stint.
Rusty, I want to ask you a question. In the 2 practice sessions yesterday, Carl Edwards was 4th in the first one and 6th in the late session and ran really well in the top 5 in both sessions. Why is he
we're going to do some more of what we did there last time for you. Just keep fighting it there, buddy. Just keep fighting, keep hanging in there. We'll do some more.
How can they suddenly have this kind of a serious issue with the car?
Jerry, I can tell you can practice all day long, all you want. And there's been so many times, I'll tell you, almost every single driver gets done and said, how is your practice session? And they say pretty good, but once the race starts, they're like, what happened? Things always change. You can never get the car perfect in practice like it is in the race, and this thing has changed big time.
Well, that's the thing I see. This car is terrible. I'd say there's something wrong. It's not just they've missed it by a spring or a shock. There's something like a shock seized up. There's an A-frame bushing. Something is wrong with this race car that they can't fix, and you can't adjust out of that. If there's something wrong with the car, you can't go and say, okay, let's put some wedge in or drop the track bar and fix it if that's not the problem.
Andy, could it be maybe in the right front spring because their run coil bind could have collapsed on it but just caused this big problem?
It could be anything like that, yes. Vince, what have you got?
Vince?
Well, guys, they're as baffled as we all are because before the race tonight, Dan Stillman said, I think we've got a really good race car. They're all feeling the pressure because they haven't won a race this season. They're chasing Kyle Busch in the points, and Carl Edwards didn't have a good car here last year. Made it all the more important that they would have a good car tonight, and they believed that they did. Carl said it didn't get it in qualifying because he messed up. He said, but I think we've got a real good race car, so there's no doubt about it. These guys are scratching their head, and then to throw all the changes they've thrown at it and still not be anywhere near fixing the problem, I gotta agree with you. I think it might be something more serious that you can't fix.
Guys, I'll tell you, one of the sickest feelings is to leave a racetrack not knowing what happened, and your base setup that's always works good for you doesn't work at all, and you leave very, very confused and frustrated because you do not have a good notebook coming back then.
Battle for ninth position here. Eric Darnell going by the 12 car, or he was going to go by the 12 car of Justin Allgaier. Now he'll get back on the inside and dig and get maybe a half of a front bumper in front of him. Behind them is the 1 car of Mike Bliss. So a pretty good battle here. Allgaier, Darnell, and Bliss, 9th, 10th, and 11th. We are just a few laps away from what might be the final scheduled pit stop. So we'll take a quick break and come back and catch pit stops here at Kentucky Speedway. Great battle at Kentucky here, 9th, 10th, and 11th, and Mike Bliss has just gone by the 12 and the 6 car to take the 9th spot away. We just should be a couple of laps away from pit stops. Andy, they last pitted on lap 71, but we've had some caution flag laps.
Had a few caution laps. They can go about 60 laps. Maybe some of the cars can go a little farther than that under green. We're going to find out really just how far these cars can go, because they have to make this run as far as they can so they can stretch it to make that last run with 1 stop. So there's not like somebody can say, okay, we're not going to let you know how far I can go. We're going to see how far you can go right here.
And I wonder if anybody was saving fuel on this run right here so they can go a little longer.
We heard people talking. We heard the Gibbs cars talking about saving some fuel, and Kyle Busch was in a great position to do that because he was leading with really no pressure. But here comes the 20 car. He's on pit road, making his stop now with 63 laps to go.
And they have got to get this car completely full of fuel. That is critical.
And he's already had a penalty for speeding, so he is very, very careful right here. And he'll probably even give up a little time just to make sure he doesn't get a penalty.
Long way down at 45 miles an hour. Jamie Little.
And they've been warning him about pit road penalty and telling him to watch his speed. They also have been telling him to conserve fuel, that this could be their last pit stop. He's saying he's getting tight off, and it's getting worse as the laps go on. 4 tires and fuel planned for right now. Also, guys, Kelly Byers, who's had a heck of a charge tonight, he's in his pit box. They told him, way to be like a machine, buddy. He said he just needs to be a little freer off the corner. They're going to take 4 tires for the 33. And the 38 of Jason Leffler, he's made a charge to the front. Remember, last pit stop he took right sides only. This time they want a track bar adjustment, 4 tires and fuel for Jason Leffler. You see him there on the left side of your screen in the 38. Crew goes around to the right side. They're working there, and they'll go back around to the left sides. Remember, they said these tires are very consistent. They weren't falling off, and it paid off early for Jason Leffler. Getting left sides for the first time tonight, and Mike?
The 18 team, certainly one that was very concerned about fuel. They were trying to stretch this window to lap 139. If they were to do that, they'd be 1 lap to the good if this thing were to go green the rest of the way. They got to lap 140. They should be good. They'll fill it up completely with fuel, a 4-tire change, and away. Justin Allgaier, another guy very concerned about fuel. Their window very tight as well. They're going to make a track bar adjustment, also an air pressure adjustment on the 12 car, trying to free it up just a little bit. A 4-tire change for Allgaier. He feels like he's got a car capable of winning, and I spoke with him before the race. He was extremely confident he could be a first-time winner tonight.
The 33 car too fast on exit, and the 99 car is in. Vince.
The 99 of Trevor Bayne says it's a little free off the wall in turn 1. They're going to give him the 4 fresh tires, make an air pressure adjustment. Trevor Bayne has been running well all day long, 18 years old. Getting to the end is the key for Trevor Bayne. He's been able to do it.
Mike Bliss has been complaining the car's been tight on entry most of the evening. They're going to try to correct that with an air pressure adjustment. Those are the only adjustments the one team has made all night. They'll make another. He's down and away.
And Brendan Gaughan listening to his new crew chief, Shane Huffman. They're going to be 4 tires and fuel. No adjustments for the 62. Has been coming alive.
The 88 also in. Brad Keselowski in for his service. 4 tires and fuel as he is moving down pit road. There comes Keselowski, the Dover winner. You see Brendan Gaughan pulling out. Michael McDowell waiting for Gaughan's car to pull out. And a penalty, 33 car too fast on exit, Kelly Byers, and Eric Darnell also too fast on exit. And the 99 also too fast on exit, Trevor Bayne, and the 32 car of Bernie Lamar. 15 cars in front of you, Mike.
And Mike Lynette making his stop now. The team going to work on the right side, a 4-tire stop. They're going to try to free him up with a little bit of air pressure adjustment as well. Having a pretty strong run. He's been pretty strong inside the top 15 most of the evening. He's down and away. A pretty good stop for the 15 team.
Tell you what, everybody's getting busted exiting pit road. That's a very short segment there, Andy, and it seems like they're just not figuring this thing out. They're all getting killed right there.
Yeah, this has been a tough night on pit road for a lot of cars, but Carl Edwards was able to lead a lap during this string of pit stops because he made a pit stop on one of those caution runs that a lot of cars stayed out.
You saw Trevor Bain, who's been running in the top 10 all night long, coming back down to serve his pass-through penalty, and now it is Carl Edwards. And as you said, finally he gets a chance to get some of those bonus points.
Yeah, he needs a break. If he could catch a caution right here, it would put him in a great spot. It put a lot of guys in a bad spot, but Carl really needs a break if he's going to get a good finish tonight because his car really isn't where he needs it.
The problem is if he keeps staying on the racetrack with those older tires, those guys who just pitted are just catching him big time.
Well, it's the only chance he's got, though, because his car's not very good. If he can catch a caution right here, it can really change things for him tonight. Otherwise, they're just going to have to take their licks and get the whatever they can take out of here.
Bobby Hamilton on the 81 car just a moment ago, too fast on entry to pit road, and we haven't mentioned Bobby much, but he's done a heck of a job.
Next time here, next time, 4 tires, next time. Track bar 2 down, 2 rounds of wedge in the left rear.
Stand still, man. That car's still loose. They're going to make another pretty good adjustment.
Look at Dan just sort of figuring out we got to get this thing figured out. Now Carl waving to let the cars behind him know that he will be slowing down to come on for more adjustments on pit road.
4,000, do not speed.
You see the 6 car and the 32 of Bernie Lamar and Eric Darnell serving their penalty right now coming on pit road.
Let's go down to Vince.
Well, they're reminding Carl Edwards, do not speed. Everybody's been getting busted for speeding violations. You see the 4 tires, the track bar adjustment, the wedge in the left rear. It's been wholesale changes for this one. They've, as Andy said earlier, thrown the kitchen sink at it darn near literally. But we'll see if these latest adjustments can make a difference.
Is that a double sink or a single?
Yeah, they got to, man, they really got to make some changes here. That's the lead. You see Kyle Busch now passing Scott Wimmer, who's yet to make his pit stop. Wimmer did get the lead a lap. He actually was the leader. I'm not sure he led at the start-finish line to get an official bonus point, but he was the leader. He did get the bonus point.
He did get the bonus point for leading a lap, and now Kyle Busch has gone back by, waiting for Wimmer to come in, waiting for Kevin Conway to come in. He's running in 3rd spot in the 87 car.
Busch is eating these guys up right now. He's got those fresh tires, and Stephen Wallace just gets down a lap, and so does Carl Edwards now. Stephen's in the lucky dog position. He's driving his guts out, he's got to try to keep Edwards and the guys behind him now.
And the 60 car, too fast on exit.
There is no way.
You know, those guys, they were talking to Carl Edwards about not speeding. They were probably very persistent on the radio, and he still got the penalty.
Slowed it down on exit.
There's something strange going on here tonight. I hear a short segment down there exiting, but
there's something going on.
Everybody's
not that many cars get penalties without something going on here a little bit goofy. I don't know what it is, but normally you will not see this many pit road penalties in one race. Carl Edwards was very adamant that he did not feel like he was speeding.
These are talented drivers, too, having these problems. You just can't say that all of them are making mistakes, every single one of them. I know this timing system is electronic. I know that. That's hard to beat that, but something's different.
And also, as bad as his night has been,
Have to do a pass through.
as bad as his night has been, he was able to race for the lucky dog and maybe get back on the lead lap and be in the top 10.
Yeah, that's not going to happen now because he's going to have to make this stop and go down possibly another lap. He's got to be very careful here now not to speed this time because that can just bury him if he does.
So he comes off the racetrack running in 12th position.
That is crazy. That is complete BS, man. No way.
Yeah, there's something, I have to agree. I think there's something going on here. There's too many guys have been penalized tonight.
Well, there'll be a lot of them piled up in the truck tonight talking to race director Joe Balish. What's going on different? He's going to have to explain it to them because there's too many good ones. Like you said, maybe they, I don't know if the thing's in a different position. We'll talk about it later on, but it's crazy.
Now they're saying Scott Wimmer, the 40 car, too fast on exit, so he won't be penalized. He will have to come down pit road.
Well, they're not discriminating. They're getting them all. Just about every car in the field.
It's at least half the field.
Deal with this.
If you haven't sped on pit road, raise your hand. Well, less than 50 laps to go as Wimmer comes in to serve his speeding penalty. And it is cycled through pit stops. Kyle Busch, Joey Logano, Jason Leffler, Keselowski, and Brendan Gaughan. That is the top 5 here at Kentucky. 43 laps to go here at Kentucky, and wow, my goodness, we've had so many speeding penalties on pit road. It is Kyle Busch has been speeding on the racetrack as he has led 5 times for 132 laps. 7th race in a row, he has led the most laps. And Carl Edwards, folks, again, as he was leaving pit road a moment ago, was called back in because he was too fast on exit, and here he comes in.
He's going to have to back it way down and get on the other side of this. If he gets it, I mean, this has already killed his day.
Yeah, he came in the first time, he was running 12th, and now he came back on the racetrack 2 laps down running 17th. And now we're going to see he's going to go back out probably 3 laps down running about 24th.
He is just...
There's something wrong with it.
He's talking about, he thinks something screwed up the timing system, triggering all these problems. Everybody, 50% of this field has been busted speeding pit road, so there's something that the drivers don't understand or something along with the electrical system causing this.
Now we've got Jamie Little, our pit reporter, down there where the NASCAR officials are looking, and that's the final segment on pit road. Is that where it's all happening, Jamie?
Well, Doc, I just asked 2 different officials. They said it's hard to confirm exactly where everybody is getting busted, but this end section that you're looking at is the primary spot. Now, there's one reason that could be getting these drivers. There's a line that you see beyond where they're actually being tagged, and they're thinking that drivers are assuming that's where they're getting tagged. It's not. So they said nothing has changed. They're not sure why the change tonight. Carl Edwards was booked at going 0.03 miles per hour over the speed limit, guys. They're keeping an eye out.
Yeah, the speed limit is 45, and you get a 5-mile-per-hour grace. So it was 50.03 that Carl was clocked, and that's why he was brought back in. Anything 5 or above is a speeding penalty, and that's what they clocked him. So they brought him in not once now, but twice. And he is back on the racetrack, being shown in 21st position now, 3 laps down. 39 laps to go. It is the Joe Gibbs cars that are first and second. Kyle Busch, Joey Logano, Leffler, Brad Keselowski, Brendan Gaughan, all in the top 5.
Welcome back to the Kentucky Speedway. Pit stops underway in our Toyo Tire Triple Pits. Everybody very concerned about their pit road speed. Many drivers have been busted for speeding on pit road so far tonight. Kyle Busch being warned to be very slow, very precise, very careful on pit road. He did not want to see this caution come out. He felt like if this became a fuel mileage race, he would win. Indeed, he had stretched his fuel mileage. They were good to go to lap 203 if this thing went green, white, checker. Didn't necessarily like that last set of tires, though, so he's having to put on 4 new Goodyears as they make no adjustments to the race car, just a 4-tire change in fuel. Jamie?
Jason Leffler in the 38, 4 tires, track bar down again. He said he's just a little loose in that 38 car. Meanwhile, up pit road, Joey Logano in the 20. He pitted 4 tires, no adjustments. You see him go over that line right there in front of his pit box that everybody's looking at.
There's the race off pit road. Justin Allgaier gaining a spot on this pit stop. We are under caution, folks, by the way, for the 6th time tonight. The 70 car of Shelby Howard having issues. The Indiana driver had such a great run at Nashville last week and a 12th place finish, having issues on the racetrack, which brought out the caution flag here for the 6th time. And look right in front of Kevin Conway, and you see right there the 70 car bouncing off the concrete, bringing out the yellow flag. 6th time tonight in the Meijer 300 NASCAR Nationwide Series race at Kentucky Speedway. Caution for the contact with a 70 car in the wall, Shelby Howard. All the leaders have been on pit road with the exception of one car, Brendan Gaughan, the only car on a lead lap that stayed on the racetrack. He actually is being shown now just behind the pace car as our leader.
He was able to go on fuel, so he's going to roll the dice here on the tires and see how it holds up for him. I'm not sure this is the right move, but you know, there's only 9 cars on the lead lap.
A lot of frustration here up and down pit road. So many of the lead cars have been caught for speeding on pit road, including the 60 car, former champion Carl Edwards, twice. Here's what he had to say.
I don't have any trouble with speeding on pit road ever. The frickin' thing is messed up, and can kiss. Well, I won't say that because I know they're trying their hardest. But they owe us one because their thing is broke. It's broke. It's not cool.
NASCAR has said if there was a glitch in the system that everyone would be caught on speeding on pit road, and more have not gotten caught than have been caught. And it's not always been the same segment. It's been a different segment because a moment ago the 61 car was caught speeding on exit. That is Brandon Witt. Back to green flag racing. See if Brendan Gaughan can hold off these guys that have the fresh tires. There's a contact.
Yeah. Guys racing hard now. It's time to go. 32 laps to go. That'd be more take than give at this point.
That was for 5th position as now Allgaier goes by. That was Kozlowski behind him.
There's Kyle Busch for the lead.
There's Kyle Busch going on the inside of Brendan Gaughan to reassume the lead now with just 31 laps to go.
These tires have held up pretty good all throughout the night. I was watching the speeds, and really they haven't fell off that much. And maybe that's what crew chief Shane Huffman's thinking with Brendan Gaughan, or else he could be out of tires. They see the 32 car. He's the first guy going for the lucky dog right now. Bernie Lamar, he's going to have to drive hard.
Look at Gaughan work that high line now, getting off turn 4 with a good run.
Brendan Gaughan's best finish was second at Charlotte just a couple of weeks ago. So as a rookie, he already has one runner-up finish. And now easing back in a little bit on Kyle Busch.
Yeah, look at him. He's working his high line. His car's bottoming out a little bit, but if he can get this thing to quit bottoming out, I think he's got something up there.
Let's check in their pits. Jamie.
Shane Huffman, first time being a crew chief, opted to stay out. How you feeling about your call right now?
Well, our fastest times have been late in the run, so
we gotta crash on the track, guys. We'll get back to Shane Huffman.
And that is his car. That is Brendan Gaughan, who's got up high, and the car just got out of shape sideways and comes down across the grass and whips it around on pit road. Tough break after he stayed out on the racetrack and was hanging on to second position.
He was giving it all he had. He doesn't have a lot of damage to that right rear, but brings out a caution. He'll put tires on now, and still only 9 cars on the lead lap. You'll have Bernie Lamar getting the lucky dog, which will be 10 cars on the lead lap. He can start back there and start trying to move back up.
Yeah, he can stay in the lead lap.
You're damaged right there.
What they need to do is work on this car and fix it right now. Take their time. He just got up to the high side, hit those bumps.
Got too far. I think he just got too far up on the outside there and got in the loose stuff.
Well, lucky he didn't get clobbered coming down that hill, too.
Jason Leffler did a great job to miss him.
He has locked it down across the grass.
You know, it just looks like he just drove that car so hard into that corner. That baby jumped up, but I really question that call of just staying out and not putting any tires on that car whatsoever. I mean, I heard him say that the lap times weren't falling off much. That's the reason they stayed out. It makes you wonder still, though.
Brendan Gaughan staying on the racetrack and was the leader, running in second spot, and the car just gets away up high and comes into contact with the concrete. Caution number 7 here at Kentucky. Back with a green flag again in just a moment. Back at Kentucky Speedway, just 27 laps remaining here in the NASCAR Nationwide Series race. Under caution for the 7th time tonight. The 62 car of Brendan Gaughan, who stayed on the racetrack, got a little high, and the car got into concrete. Spun around and brought out the yellow flag. He has since come back on the pit road to make some repairs on the car. Top 2 cars, Kyle Busch, Joey Logano. Then is Jason Leffler back in 3rd. Allgaier, the rookie who has not won a race, and Brad Keselowski in 5th. Here's Allgaier going to the high side to go around the outside of the 38 car for 3rd position.
That's a good move, and Allgaier's been working the high groove pretty well tonight, too. He's going up on the outside of Eric Darnell.
And look at all those sparks flying off those cars. Got that low air pressure. This baby's all bottom. Ooh, look at Leffler down the bottom past Eric Darnell.
Some aggressive moves here with 27 laps to go.
Oh, yeah, big time aggressive, guys.
Darnell is 1 lap down on the 6th car, but the 12, 38, and 88 are all in the lead lap.
Smooth me out, baby. Smooth me out.
Here goes Keselowski trying to take the spot away. That would be 4th position.
Well, I tell you, Keselowski way up on top of the racetrack. Are using that 3rd lane on Exeter turn 2, making it work.
Here comes Bliss on the outside.
Bliss was back in 6th spot, and then Keselowski takes the 4th spot away, and now Bliss will try to take 5th spot from Jason Leffler.
These guys just been having to negotiate these old race cars jumping all over the racetrack tonight and not overdrive it, because I've seen some of them hit the bumps and jump out of the track into the wall, and that's pretty doggone bumpy there now.
Here comes Brendan Gaughan now. He's got his car fixed. He's got tires on it. He's got on a charge now.
Well, he knows he's screwed up. He's trying to make it up now. Just like he said, new tires, driving aggressive.
Really close to Bliss. Man, listen to him get back in that throttle hard.
So it is Kyle Busch, Joey Logano, Justin Allgaier, the rookie, then Keselowski, then Leffler, Bliss, and Gaughan as you're watching right there. There's Kyle Busch. And by the way, the Joe Gibbs Racing Team has 3 1-2 finishes in nationwide competition. And all 3 times it has been Kyle Busch who has finished second.
Yeah, it might happen again tonight, because Joey Logano he's got a fast car. He's had to overcome some penalties. He's in the right spot. I think his car's just a little bit faster, and it has been in these longer runs. But we really haven't seen Kyle get pushed hard enough to know what his car really will do. I mean, this is one of the races where you'll know what this 18 car has. He's got it all out there right now.
Kyle Busch has led the most laps tonight, so that'll make it 7 races in a row that he has dominated here in the NASCAR Nationwide Series. But folks, history says, well, look at this little battle here. 3rd position.
These 2 guys have been going at it all night.
Yeah, they're mad at each other, too. You heard Brad Keselowski screaming at the 12 car, thinking he's in his way, beating him on the rear bumper, and now they're racing for position out there.
Yeah, you're not going to see Allgaier give Keselowski an inch right now. He's going to stay out there and race it as hard as he can to the finish.
See Brendan Gaughan trying to get back to the front. Got a good car tonight. And the last time by, Kyle Busch, Logano, exactly the same speed.
Look at this battle left side of your screen. Battles all over the racetrack here in the top 7 here in the final 20 laps.
And boy, I tell you, these drivers know it too. 20 laps to go. They know. So like I said earlier in the show, with those new tires, man, they got to strike fast to get that lap times up, get that track position, because track position's everything in the world also.
Hard to believe that Justin Allgaier has started just 17 nationwide races in his entire career, but he is driving like a veteran here tonight.
You know what, he is just hitting his marks perfect and just doing it all right. He knows his crew chief, get them lap times, tell them to stay aggressive, but stay calm also. I know that's hard to do, both of them, but Justin knows he's having a great run.
I believe Keselowski's got a little bit faster car, but Allgaier has the spot. It's a little frustrating for Keselowski, but Allgaier's doing absolutely nothing wrong right here. He's racing for this spot. There's only 19 laps to go. He's not going to give him anything, not an inch.
I'll tell you what, guys, this 62, Brendan is flying through this field. He just moved into 5th position on those fresh tires, just blew around Leffler. They got the car put back together good. Taped up the right rear quarter panel, new tires. He's got his head back on straight now, doing a good job.
Great side-by-side battle there. The
Whoa,
the
there they go.
Hang on to it, hang on to it.
That was arrow loose right there. I know you hate it when I say that word, but that's what it was.
And Mike Bliss, who was 6th in the point standings, now ends up nosed into the wall here with 18 laps to go.
Well, just hard racing right here. These 2 guys are going at it. They got just a little too close together.
Terrible this thing is on the start, man.
Heard him say it's terrible on the restarts. I guess a lot of drivers complain about until the tire pressures come up, these cars are all over the racetrack.
Looks like Kelly Byers will race back on the lead lap here. That's a lucky dog.
What a job he's done. Backup car from the back of the field all the way up right now. Looks like he's going to be in the 11th position on this restart.
Mike Bliss climbing out of his car. Good to see him after that car going nose into the wall after battling side by side with Jason Leffler for 6th position. Here again's what happened. Watch Bliss on the bottom of the racetrack.
He makes a good run into the middle of the corner here. He gets to the throttle well. But Leffler, he's not going to give it up. He's going to race him for this spot. They come off the corner and just run out of room and just gets a little behind on the steering here and gets in the wall. Bliss does.
Let's ride along with Jason Leffler and see what his view was on the outside.
See the smoke from a little bit of contact. Ooh, that was close.
Wrecking behind you. One car got loose underneath of you there and wrecked.
I see Bliss. He thinks he's going to get a good run here, maybe get clear of Leffler, but
Still there. Hang on to it. Hang on to it.
And you don't get that airflow down that right side of that car to that rear spoiler. That car on the inside gets loose big time, and we see this time and time again. But you know these guys are running out of time. 17 laps to go. You know this adrenaline's flowing. They're trying to get it done quick.
Mike Bliss, 6 top 10 finishes in the last 9 races, including a 4th last week at Nashville. He had moved into 6th, the highest he had been all year in the Nationwide Series point standings. This will hurt because that car very heavily damaged. There's the 38 of Jason Leffler back in 6th spot. Just 16 laps to go. Kyle Busch trying to get win number 5 in 2009.
We are down to the final 15 laps of tonight's NASCAR Nationwide Series race at Kentucky Speedway, and those 15 laps are going to have to wait for just a couple minutes. You see the field being pulled up along the back straightaway and parked, and this race is going to go under the red flag to allow the cleanup to be thoroughly done. Down the front straightaway, you've got Kyle Busch leading Joey Logano. Justin Allgaier is running in 3rd. That 33 car, Kelly Byers, is the first car 1 lap down. There's Allgaier, the 3rd place runner, and Brad Keselowski is in 4th position as we go under the red flag. It sends us back to a couple of races ago at Dover when we had our restart for a green-white checker finish.
Yeah, and we'd actually spent a couple of laps under the caution, and we saw Joey Logano get into the back of Kyle Busch, who had a right front tire going down, possibly from running through some debris.
And Brad Keselowski went under the both of them and scored the victory. And the reason we mention that is because there was just an accident on the front straightaway, and the cars ran through that area before NASCAR took them down pit road to allow the cleanup to be done, and now has stopped them on the back straightaway. You think that 18 crew's going to have the binoculars out looking at the tires on that car?
It's the only way anyone's going to catch him, I guarantee you that.
All right, let's hear from some crew chiefs while it's quiet. Michael, you're first.
And we are catching up with the aforementioned 18 team and Jason Ratcliffe. You've been here before. You've had to race your teammate for the win. What's this like for you?
It's fun. It's fun. It's nerve-wracking, but it's fun. But anytime one of these Joe Gibbs Toyotas can get up here and battle for the victory, man, it's fun regardless. This is one big happy team, and we fight hard. Don't get it wrong, but it's fun. We like taking trophies back to our shop and sharing them. But we're having a good time. Kyle's doing an awesome job. That guy's run a lot of miles today, so it's getting late, and I know he's tired. He won't admit that, but he's got to be. I mean, why wouldn't you be? So he's a trooper, man. He's hanging in there, giving us 110%. Our NOS energy drink team's doing good. Our Toyota's fast, and I wish they wouldn't have red flagged us thing. I'd like to just rode around here for about 15 laps and go to the house.
But they did red flag it. What are your expectations once this thing returns to green?
We just need to, if we can get a good restart, and right there at the end, we seem to find a line that worked for us pretty good down here. We're pretty good 1 and 2, struggling a little bit in 3 and 4. Kyle's been moving around all night. This is kind of his practice, because he didn't have practice, so he's been practicing for the first, 185 laps here. So hopefully he got some good practice in.
Well, I would say it's been a pretty good practice, Jamie.
And Dave Rogers, now crew chief for Joey Logano. Last pit stop, you put some tape on the grill, freed the car up, got some speed out of it. Is it enough to get Kyle?
Yeah, I don't know. This is what everyone at Joe Gibbs Racing strives for. 1-2 finish. Of course, we want to be first, and Kyle wants to be first. But our GameStop Toyota Camry is really fast tonight. We haven't worked on it much at all. Put the tape on for speed. It probably freed us up a little bit more than I want, but we got Joey Logano driving. I believe in that kid, so I think we're okay.
We just looked at the flashback to Dover. You guys were sitting in the same spot. Are you telling your driver to check the tires on the 18 this time?
That's a good idea. I'm glad you brought that up. No, back then, both drivers just doing everything they could to win the race. There was no fault there. That's what we pay them to do. That's what we want them to do. Would be disappointed if either one of them laid down on us. So we hope we don't have the same result. We hope that one of us brings a trophy home, but we'll see.
Well, there's a cheerleading squad here on the radio to driver Joey Logano.
All right, thoughts of the top 2 crew chiefs, both from Joe Gibbs Racing. The radios, the team drivers, they have the opportunity to talk to each other. And, of course, under this red flag, they're talking back and forth about what's going to happen.
So he's beating me into 3 and back to the gas up off of 4.
Yeah, that last time by, you maintained to the center. That's where he got tight, something behind you. And then you know that you went way up high in 4. That's what he's doing. So you're just taking his air, and you got away another lane. But it's a bizarre line, but it's better than you.
Kyle Busch using all the resources at his disposal. Conversation with his spotter there about what the 20 car's doing.
Well, you know, the 20 car, had moved within about a second and a half of him. So I think it's going to be an interesting restart. If Joey can keep up on the restart, we're going to have a heck of a race down these last 15 laps. He could get Kyle Busch.
Under the red flag because of a crash involving Mike Bliss, who was racing for 6th a minute ago. Now he's back in the garage, Vince.
Well, it's good to see Mike Bliss come out of the medical center. You don't look to be any worse for the wear, but what happened during the course of the incident?
I was just racing real hard. We just weren't very good all day. It was real loose all day. And, I mean, I was sliding up towards Jason. I was hoping it'd stop sliding when I got into him. The only thing I made a mistake when I did get into him. I should have just turned left and spun out instead of trying to correct it. When I did, I hit the wall. It was my fault when I got into Jason. I should have turned left and just went through the grass and spun out and came back. But this was a tough race. I mean, we were running at least top 10, but it just didn't. It was tough. That car was just loose all day, and to get down to the end and then wreck, it's terrible.
Well, that's certainly a characteristic of the track and the cars that we've heard throughout the course of the night, all up and down pit lane. Loose, loose, loose. How difficult has it been just to keep that car under you tonight?
Well, I told I had a feeling, and I told him, I said, this track gets free at night, and we didn't go with that plan. We just went with a plan, we're going to free it up. And I just had the feeling it's going to get loose all night, and it does. And I told him, put it in the notes next time. You know, we're going to be tightening this thing up all night. So you get lost during the day, but it's a night race, and we just didn't have very far to go till the end.
Big hit for Mike Bliss. Good to see him walk out under his own power, Alan.
6th in points coming in. He is going to finish this race likely in 28th position when the checkers wave. And that's tough.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough evening, but I tell you, we got some great racing up front. Look, young Justin Allgaier
how about
outstanding job. How about Michael Annette? Man, he has been tough all night long. And Kelly Byers getting back into the top 10. Got some great young race cars up front.
Let's hear from some more crew chiefs. Brad, you mentioned Justin Allgaier. Let's hear from his crew chief, Mike.
Yeah, and Alan, considering what Joe Gibbs Racing has done over the past couple of years, they have to be considered the heavy favorites in this battle. But the underdog, Justin Allgaier, Chad Walters, what's the plan here on this restart?
Just continue what he's been doing so well all night. You know, we qualified well with a brand new car, thanks to the guys back at the shop and the engine shop for that. And we're driving a really smart race, and NASCAR's really cracked down on pit road speed tonight, it seems like. And we got behind, and you know, the 88's really good. The 12 is running outstanding, as good as we've run in a few races. And, you know, hopefully those guys up front, maybe they'll get to racing and we can get underneath them, kind of maybe a Dover type thing. But really proud of Justin, really proud of all these guys under Verizon Wireless Dodge for Penske Racing.
This will come down to a certain skill set. Veterans normally are real good on restarts. He's got at least one ahead of him in Kyle Busch. How would you assess Justin's talent on restarts?
I'll tell you the same thing I tell everybody every time somebody asks me about Justin. He continues to amaze me. I think he's more veteran than his rookie stripe shows on the back of his car, and he's put a couple good restarts on some guys out there tonight. So hopefully we can make something happen these last 15 or so laps.
And we're all looking forward to that, Jamie.
Okay, so we're back atop the 62 pit box. We're going to try this once again, but with the cars sitting still. Shane Huffman, first night being a crew chief, we were talking to you. Your driver spun out. You guys came in for some changes, fix it up. What did you have to do?
We just repaired a little bit of damage on the right rear and put 4 tires on it, basically, and sent him on his way. We're right back where we would have been if we'd have pitted with the leaders right there, so no harm, no foul, really. Brendan Still-Yet's done an awesome job tonight in the 5-hour Energy Extra Strength Chevrolet, and just want to say hi to Brian Berry at home. Wish you were here, buddy, and just got to see if we can finish it off here.
Hey, shown he has speed. Do you think he has what it takes to get those guys up ahead of him?
Well, I don't know. You know, Brendan seems to think so. We've been really, really strong on restarts tonight, so it's been one of our strong points. So we'll just have to see. Either way, it's been a good night for us.
Well, your boss man's listening in. So what do you think, Rusty? What do you think about Shane tonight?
Well, I think Shane's done a really good job. I did question him when he didn't bring him down and put 4 tires in that thing, but, you know, they were able to get away with it. They got 4 tires, and Brendan looks so good right now that I wouldn't doubt that he couldn't get around Brad Keselowski and maybe even Allgaier. He feels real good about it. I tell you, the guys I'm worried about, though, Doc, is the 12 and the 88. They've been beating on each other throughout this race, and the tempers are up a little bit right there.
I think this race is far from over. Now, Andy, we're talking about Justin Allgaier and how impressive he has been, making only his 18th career start, and how good he's been on the restarts.
He has been. He's been making those moves to the outside, and I expect to see that 12 car on the move when this green comes out. I know he's got two great restart guys in front of him with Kyle Busch and Joey Logano, but he might have something for him.
This is a tough time right now in these drivers. They've been sitting there under a red flag, and they've been thinking about, what am I going to do? Am I going to go to the bottom? Am I going to go to the top? Am I going to get real aggressive? And I'll tell you what, guys, we know late in the run, those cautions keep breeding cautions, so let's hope they won't have any wrecks, but it's got the potential.
Now, we heard the 18 car, Kyle Busch, talking to his spotter about where the 20 car may be gaining ground on him on the radio a little bit ago. Let's listen into the 20 car with Joey Logano.
Spotter's driving this car for him. Tell him where your line is. And Kyle's radio you're talking about?
Yeah, he spent the last 2 laps telling him everywhere you're beating him and what line you're running so you can take it away from him.
Well, I'll just go somewhere else then, huh?
That's exactly what you do. You got to go where they're not.
And Andy, we know how good Kyle Busch has always been on these restarts. He had a great job at Richmond a few weeks ago. But you keep pointing to that 20 car with a big smile on your face. You think Logano's got something for him?
I really do. I just, you see how good this car's been all night long. And he's beaten Kyle here at this racetrack. I really think he's got something left. It's going to be a real shootout to the finish.
60 car came on pit road. His night has gone from bad to worse. Talking about Carl Edwards, the car was just miserable during the early part of the race. He went back to about 18th position. He's had now 2 speeding penalties, having to come on and off pit road twice. And now Carl Edwards being shown in 23rd position, 3 laps down.
Now, he'll be mad all the way home back to Michigan tonight. He'll probably be mad when he wakes up and he's at Michigan for the Cup race, telling all the stories about what went wrong. But hey, if he's got any tires left, he could better just stay putting them on to try to get all the positions he can. Now the leaders can't do that; they got to stay out. But when you're back in the field, you can keep putting those tires on.
And Kelly Byers and Carl Edwards coming back out of out of pit road. We talked about how that we've had first-time winners here the last 3 years in a row. When I asked Jason Ratcliffe, Kyle Busch's crew chief, what about if you're leading the race and you got a hungry young person behind you? You know what Jason said? I said, Jason, I know you probably don't think your teammate would turn you, but how about a first-time winner? He said, if that young man wouldn't turn me, he shouldn't be in a race car. He said, because if you're that hungry and you want to win the first time, you need to turn anybody in front of you.
Okay, that's what he says now. If it really happens, then I want to hear what he's got to say.
All right.
Yeah, if it really happens, he'll be mad. But
Yeah,
he's
will.
right, man. If you're a first-time guy and you got a shot to do it, man, do it. Get it. Go for it. His fans aren't going to get mad at you. They're going to stand up and cheer like crazy for a first-time winner.
Well, there are 10 cars on the lead lap, and it is Keselowski. You see him back in 4th position there. We told you that it was Kyle Busch, Logano. There is Brendan Gaughan back in 5th. Jason Leffler is 6th. And you cannot say enough about Michael Annett. Best run of his career as a rookie here in the NASCAR Nationwide Series, back in 7th spot in the 15 car.
All right, Kelly Byers just back on the lead lap right now with fresh tires in that number 33 Kevin Harvick car. So he's got another shot to gain some positions.
Boy, if this were a double file restart, how good would this be?
That's what that double file restart is going to do. When they put it in this series, they would have these leaders lined up double file now, and you'd see a shootout. I'm telling you, we're going to see one anyway.
We're going to see one. I talked to series director Joe Balish. They're thinking maybe a couple of weeks away, maybe when everyone's together again at New Hampshire. They're going to let them sort of try to perfect this thing in the Cup Series before it comes here to Nationwide and over to the Camping World Truck Series.
I think if we had a double file restart right now, we'd see a caution. They'd be so close to going for it.
I think we ought to go triple file restart. How would it? No, okay. Well,
Whatever
might be
it takes.
still too much action there.
Whatever it takes for these fans.
All right, guys, 13 to go. Kyle Busch, Joey Logano, Justin Allgaier, Brad Keselowski. Fans on their feet here at Kentucky for the final 13 laps.
Green, green, green.
And Logano hanging right with him.
You can see Allgaier, he was looking to the outside, but those 2 front runners were ready for this restart.
Here goes Keselowski on the high side of Justin Allgaier.
Looking for that momentum, looking for that grip. Brad Keselowski is in the top side of the track. You got to try to get that nose in clean air. Move it to the bottom, move it to the top to keep that grip.
Jason Leffler pulling down at the bottom of the racetrack, trying to make a run on Brendan Gaughan for position. That's right behind these two.
Brendan Gaughan spun that thing out last time, getting too high. He better not get too high right now. He got so high that time that Leffler got underneath him.
That's for 5th spot. Up front, it is the two Joe Gibbs cars still, Kyle Busch and Logano. They have pulled away by about a 1/10 of a second over Allgaier.
You see Logano, he's not letting Kyle Busch get away at all.
Boy, great move by Michael Annett on the bottom of the racetrack, getting past Jason Leffler there.
Michael Annett being shown now in 6th position. It'll be 10 to go this time by.
Watch out, Logano's just creeping in on him.
He's there.
Oh, look at that, man. He's got that clean air. He's got
Here he
that
goes.
nose.
He's inside.
Here
Andy, you might be right.
Joey Logano, listen to these fans.
Got to float it in here now.
I tell you, Busch lets him get up there. He's gone. Oh, man, I tell you, he's got that clean air right now, and he should be able to just drive off.
Wow, he took a lot of racetrack getting off that corner.
Whoa, that car got a big-time bubble.
He didn't let up, though. He still got the lead. Now you got Kyle Busch going to try this move on the bottom. It's not going to work. This 20 car's been so strong all night long. That penalty put him at the back, and he spent a lot of time making it up.
So after leading 6 times for 162 laps, Kyle Busch gets past with 10 to go. And now here's the great battle for 3rd position. Allgaier trying to hold off Brad Keselowski.
Now look at Brad working that top side, trying to get that big run off at turn 4 to run him down that straightaway. And Andy, we always see the top side of these racetracks bringing all that momentum in. These guys are going to try working that.
Yeah, Brendan Gaughan's going to come into the picture for this race for 3rd.
Look at all the sparks flying off these cars.
That means they're driving hard. They're running faster lap times than they've run all night long. The leader just ran a 32nd bracket, a 30.90. Now keep in mind, they only qualified a 30.88 for the pole, so they're right at those qualifying speeds right now.
Yeah, and those front ends are untaped right now. The tires are used. That's a great point, Andy, to show you how fast this track really is when the sun goes down.
Here goes Keselowski to the outside.
Look at the run he got coming up off the corner, but it's always been the 12 car able to get him coming off turns 1 and 2.
Yeah, but this is the first time that the 88's had that outside lane with the momentum. Now he's got this position, and here comes Brendan Gaughan on the outside.
We know Gaughan loves that top side of that racetrack. We know he's going to stay up there.
So Gaughan will take the 4th spot away as Keselowski now is taken 3rd.
While all this is going on, Joey Logano is pulled away by 0.6 of a second.
7 laps to go.
So Logano, Busch, here's the great battle though, folks. 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Keselowski, Gaughan, and Allgaier. I'll see if Allgaier now can reel them back in.
I don't think Allgaier has anything for these two guys. I believe Brendan Gaughan is going to have the advantage here as we wind these laps down because he's got a little bit fresher tires on this car. Just a couple laps, and he's had a great car all night too.
Brendan really picks it up on the entry of turn 3 right there. He just got to not get too high. Boy, he can smell it. He wants to pass that 88 car so bad it's unreal.
Well, he's got about 5 laps to do it.
He wants to be the #1 Chevrolet tonight.
Hard to believe 24 laps ago that 62 car was bouncing off the wall in turn 4 and spinning sideways down pit road. Now he is trying to battle for 3rd spot.
Well, don't forget why he was spinning out. He was trying to pass those Gibbs cars. He could see the lead when he crashed. You see 3rd spot right here. He's still going to work on this 88 car.
And enough time, got 5 laps to go. In the meantime, the 20 car, Joey Logano, is just kind of driving off. Actually, 0.3 of a second faster than Kyle Busch that last time by. The race on the track right now is right there. These two going for that 3rd position.
See, Brendan was working that high lane, but now he doesn't have that available. He's going to try to pass him on the bottom.
Yeah,
Keselowski kind of running up the racetrack a little bit.
Absolutely, and Brad Keselowski made the pass from Justin Allgaier on the top side, and we know that's where Gaughan likes to run, so he's took his line away right now.
You don't think he's trying to fake him out, thinking, okay, I'm looking to the bottom. Maybe you'll get him to go down there and block, and he can shoot the outside.
I don't think that Brad's that stupid. I think he sees that coming, and he knows how to block it off. Plus, those spotters are helping, too.
It'll be 2 to go next time by. Joey Logano now pulling away by 1.5 seconds over Kyle Busch. Here's the battle, though. Keselowski and Gaughan for 3rd position. Allgaier now is faded back to 4th. Michael Annett. Allgaier raced really 5th. Michael Annett is 6th, and Leffler is 7th.
Michael Annett has had a great run tonight. He's looking at a chance of getting a top 5 if he can catch Justin Allgaier. but running 6th spot after a good night.
A year ago, it was Joey Logano coming here in only his 3rd career start, sitting on the pole at Kentucky Speedway at 18 years and 21 days. And when the night was over, it was Joey Logano who had set a NASCAR record for becoming the youngest winner in series history. He was able to celebrate Father's Day with his dad, Tom. Well, it's a week early here in 2009, but folks, it looks like Joey Logano may have done it again.
He owns this racetrack. He's not yet lost a race. He's going to come across the line and win this one for his 2nd Kentucky win.
Grab the pole. Just driving away from Kyle Busch, one of the best in the business right now.
Baby, get yourself 2 for 2. Get it.
There you go, baby. One thing I like doing is doing something no one else has ever done before. You were the first repeat winner in Kentucky. Proud of you, man. Thank you for coming down and dialing that car in for us.
Great effort by Joey Logano.
So cool. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Dave Rogers and company celebrating. Andy, you were right. You pointed at that 20 car, said I believe he's got something for the 18.
He sure looked good tonight. This boy is really solid, too, behind the wheel. What a great job Joey Logano's done tonight.
You know, we always talk about how good the car is. Yeah, the car is good, but you got to drive it. I mean, they've got a perfect match right here. A young driver that's popular with all the fans. See what he's going to do here in Victory Lane. Or on the track at least.
Let's go down and visit with the crew chief, Jamie.
This motor sealed?
And Dave Rogers right now on the radio asking if this motor is sealed because he has to tell his driver whether or not he can do burnouts right now. He's saying get the checkered flag, and he's able to do his burnouts right now. The celebratory celebration over there. Hey, quick thinking there. How in the world did you guys get around the 18, and what does it mean to beat them straight up?
Well, you know, we had an advantage. Joey came down last night to practice our car. He dialed it in perfect. You know, we took a half-pound airbrush on the right front all day. Didn't touch it. He just drove a smart race. And I think him practicing yesterday paid off today. And let me give the driver credit for this one.
All right, drivers getting credit for making the trek from Michigan to come down and get that car shaken out yesterday. And we will meet him in Victory Lane.
You don't think these fans here in the Kentucky and Indiana area appreciate great NASCAR racing here? Well, they have seen it tonight. What an effort by Joey Logano. When you pass Kyle Busch the way he did here, cleanly, with less than 15 to go, knowing that Kyle wanted to win that race, you have done something.
It's like Dave Rogers said, beat him straight up. Man, that was a great race for Joey Logano.
While Joey celebrates, let's go down and visit with Kyle Busch. Mike.
And catching up with Kyle, a dominant run most of the night, but it really came down to that final restart and those final laps. Can you take me through them?
Always happens that way. We always lose in the end. So thank Nos and Z-Line, everybody at Toyota, all these guys on his team. They do a great job. Another 1-2 finish. Joey's just better than we are at these places. So congratulations to him. He learned from Mark Martin, obviously. Just knows how to save his stuff and kind of snooker people into not adjusting on their race cars. So, you know, our fault. We didn't have a good enough race car today. But I told everybody I'd come here and finish second anyway. So can't complain much.
One thing you certainly can't complain about is your point lead right now. It's the largest of the year. Are you thinking about that already?
Be nice to get 12 wins, wouldn't it?
Sure would. Guys, you can hear the disappointment in his voice. He is the point leader, but he really wanted this victory tonight, Vince.
Carl Edwards 20th tonight. He just asked what happened between Joey and Kyle. I know you had your hands full, so you couldn't see what was happening at the front. Joey wins the race. Kyle finishes second. You were 20th. I know you had your hands full with the car tonight, but how about the pit lane violation and what was going on there?
I think I had 3 pit lane violations. The fact is, you know, like it or not, NASCAR messed up the final pit road exit length, so they were catching all these people speeding. I got caught once, and I came in, I went slower, and got caught again, so they just messed it up. I was real upset about it, but I know they're doing the best they can, but you know, hopefully they'll just admit they screwed that one up, and we'll go on. But our Save-A-Lot team, we worked hard. I've never made that many adjustments to a car. Dan and I are in this deal together. We messed it up last night. We did not get this car right, but we'll hopefully just go to Milwaukee and get a win. We got the Save-A-Lot car there too, but congrats to Joey and those guys. They did a good job.
Frustrating night for Carl Edwards. Doc?
That sums it up for Carl. Now, the 6th time that the leader of the most laps here at Kentucky has not won. And folks, 3 of the last 4 years, the leader of the most laps here has been Kyle Busch, and he did not win any of those races. Amazing for all the laps he has led. Joey Logano has scored his 3rd NASCAR Nationwide Series win in just his 31st start, and he does it 2 years in a row from the pole here at Kentucky.
And Joey Logano having an issue with his steering wheel. He just brought it out with him to celebrate. Joey, big moment for this team at the end there. You make the pass on the 18 car. What does it mean to you to beat them straight up, knowing he's the hottest driver in NASCAR right now?
It's awesome. I tell you, it's cool that Joe Gibbs Racing has won 2 races. I mean, last 2 races I've been involved in, we've ever won 2 like that. And the 20 Tito's definitely owed him one after Dover, and this is awesome. I tell you, I can't. I got to thank the fans. I thank GameStop. We had a prototype on the car today. Awesome looking car. Obviously really fast. I tell you, this place just fits me. I tell you, I just like it, and we're fast every time we come around here. So I gotta thank these guys. They do awesome. They work so hard. Dave wanted this so bad, so that's awesome for them.
Joey, you told me before the race that coming here for practice yesterday, you think you over-adjusted. You guys barely touched it tonight, and Kyle even said you took a note from Mark Martin and saving your equipment and not adjusting. Your thoughts on the car tonight?
Yeah, we changed it around. I mean, sometimes we're really loose, and it just kind of depended on what set of tires we had. I think we had one bad set of tires that kind of killed us at first pit stop. So, I think after that we just kind of saw what we had, got caught down got caught speeding on pit road, my fault, and to overcome that's huge. So it's just awesome. I really wanted this one.
Take it all in, celebrate with your team. Joey Logano goes to victory lane for the 3rd time. He'll be in Michigan tomorrow. Vince?
Standing with Brad Keselowski, who was 3rd in the race tonight and now 3rd in points. How would you assess your run?
We got the pit road speeding penalty. It seemed like the whole field did, and not sure what happened there with the whole cone situation, and I'm sure NASCAR will look into it. But we had a good go at it, Com Chevrolet, and not quite as strong as 18 and 20, but we're working on it. We're making ground on them, and we keep working at it and keep having strong runs like this, and we'll continue to be in the championship fight.
Had a spirited battle with the 12 during different segments of the race. How was that racing? Clean?
Yeah, yes and no. Justin's still new to this there. He's still learning, and it's cool to race hard. I respect that, and I can certainly see that position. And it's just when you go above that and start cutting them off that that's taking a little too far. So, in the end, we're able to race each other clean, but it could have been worse.
The 88 of Brad Keselowski, 3rd tonight. Doc?
What a show here at Kentucky Speedway. And guys, the Nationwide Dash for Cash will roll over now to Iowa and be $75,000 for an eligible driver to win it there. Joey Logano not eligible because he is not running full-time here in the NASCAR Nationwide Series. Folks, you want a ticket to the race? Join us next week at the Milwaukee Mile, then New Hampshire, down to Daytona on July 3rd. www.nascar.com/tickets are available, and there are the Nationwide Series races coming up. Guys, your thoughts about what we saw tonight?
I thought we saw a great race tonight. To see Joey Logano overhaul the best guy, that was incredible. But the other thing is this crowd. This crowd was huge here tonight. A lot of electric hit this place. It was an amazing night.
And it was a great opportunity night for a lot of guys. You got Michael Annett getting a top 10 finish, Bernie Lamar, Rick Stenhouse Jr. getting one too. So it was a great opportunity night for a lot of guys.
16 lead changes among 7.